has been a general decline in crime across the country. However, sexual offences, including rape and commercial crimes, have increased in the fourth quarter. Nkunu, together with the National Police Commissioner General Fani Masemula, is presenting the latest crime statistics in Pretoria. Nkunu says that murder rates continue to be a major concern, with Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, the Eastern Cape and Western Cape dominating criminality in the country. The verdict is expected today in the trial of 10 people accused of involvement in the robbery of Kim Kardashian in a Paris hotel room 9 years ago. Masked attackers bound and gagged the U.S. reality star and made off with millions of dollars worth of jewelry. The BBC's Hugh Schofield had the details.
At the end of a month-long trial, the prosecution has asked for sentences of 10 years in jail for the main accused, the men who allegedly burst into the hotel and held Kim Kardashian at gunpoint during Paris Fashion Week in 2016. Several of the suspects are now frail old men. The alleged ringleader cannot speak or hear, but the prosecution lawyer told the jury that should not be a factor in considering their verdict. The fact was, he said, at the time, these were seasoned criminals who pulled off a successful heist. Kim Kardashian herself will not be in court.
For any news stories that you would like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I am Nolutando Butelezi.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Well, when you hear that sound, you know what time it is. It's time for The Upside. 6 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African Time. Happy Friday and welcome to The Upside on Channel Africa for the African Perspective. Thank you so much for choosing us this afternoon. We are coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios in Johannesburg, South Africa. A sunny, hot Johannesburg this afternoon, and you can stream us live on our social media platforms at Channel Africa 1 on X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and at Channel Africa on Facebook. Use the hashtag The Upside. If you have DSTV, it's channel 802, OpenView channel 628, and as always, you can stream us anywhere around the world on www.channelafrica.co.za. How's your Friday going so far? We'd love to hear from you. Where are you tuned in from? Anywhere around the world. +27 63 406 9126 is the WhatsApp line. My name is Tebogo Lekhuleni, and I never ride solo. I'll be with the one and only, the phenomenal Nompumelelo Ngubeni, and we'll be with you all the way to 4 p.m. Central African Time, bringing you the best of the best on the African continent. It's sort of a music-themed Friday this afternoon. In the first hour, though, we deviate just a little bit from the music, because we continue with our influencer series in the first hour, and our influencer this afternoon is none other than Thaddeus. Maybe you've seen him on social media. He goes by the handle at Thaddeus Official. You've seen him do skits, acting, singing. He's going to tell us all about his journey from being on social media to ending up on the big screens. How incredible is it that influencers and people on social media, content creators, are able to expand beyond the social platform? And then, if you are a boxing fan, when last did you go to a boxing match? Have you ever? We were speaking to Innocent earlier for Africa Updates, and he said he's never been to a boxing match. Well, Saturday, tomorrow, the 24th of May, Carnival City will be hosting the IBF Continental Africa Junior Lightweight title. It's the Back to City event, and they're inviting all of you to be a part of this experience. Come check it out. I know for a fact that I want to be there. I've never been to a boxing match before. I've never been to those UFC, EFCs, whatever they call them. But I want to go to this one. I will be there. Front row seat. In fact, maybe we can get our producer to get front row seats. And then later on in the second hour, we get into conversation with a Mozambique artist, Asa Matuse. She'll be joining us live in studio. And then in the final hour, we are joined by award-winning Nigerian artist, Mo Easy. Do you have any questions for our guests this afternoon, our musicians, our influencers? We'd love to hear from you. +27 63 406 9126. It is now 10 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African time. As always, welcome to The Upside.
Mix Vibration sur Chat.
Docteur Alain.
Je suis content, très heureux d'être de la partie ce soir et bonjour à tous nos auditeurs.
Je rappelle que pour les intimes, il vous appelle bien sûr BMB. Aujourd'hui, nous parlons courage sur Mix Vibration. Comment définissez-vous le terme courageux?
Ça vient du latin cor, qui veut tout simplement exprimer la bravoure, la force de l'âme ou encore la virilité. L'héroïsme que quelqu'un peut avoir en face de difficultés, en face de problèmes, en face de défis.
Mix Vibration, tous les dimanches de 18h à 19h, temps universel.
África. Conhece o Ntivani?
Claro que sou eu.
Ntivani é o amante da música de corpo e alma.
Eu amo música africana.
Ele aprecia todos os tipos de melodias e passa os seus dias a ouvir a Channel África. Okay. Adivinha só, a Channel África quer ajudar o Ntivani e os amantes da música em todo o lado a descobrir ainda mais música incrível. Por isso, a Channel África está a convocar artistas africanos a submeterem as suas músicas. Músicos, lembrem-se de nos dar todas as informações relevantes no music@channelafrica.co.za. As submissões são a vossa oportunidade de ser ouvidos, mas não garantem inclusão na lista. Todas as submissões serão cuidadosamente analisadas para verificar se cumprem os requisitos da nossa estação. Canal África, a perspectiva africana.
Broadcasting in 5 different languages, connecting the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective. For business, for culture, for Africa. Partner with Channel Africa because Africa's voice is the future. Africa is a story. A living, breathing, ever-evolving masterpiece. And for over 5 decades now, one voice has told it like no other. Channel Africa. More than just a broadcaster, Channel Africa is the pulse of the continent. African-led, African-run, and deeply rooted in its heritage. It's the only international station that speaks to Africa in its own voices. English, Kiswahili, Chinyanja, French, and Portuguese. The languages that unite 1 billion people. We have been there through every shift, every milestone, and every triumph. Not just reporting history, but shaping the conversations that define Africa's future. For brands, media planning, and advertisers, Channel Africa is more than just a platform, it's an opportunity. With 25 compelling shows covering current affairs, sports, business, music, and lifestyle, we deliver an engaging Pan-African audience ready to connect, invest, and act. Multi-award winning, internationally recognized, digitally accessible across the globe. When Africa speaks, the world listens, and Channel Africa makes sure of it. For business, for culture, for Africa. Partner with Channel Africa because Africa's voice is the future. Africa is a story, a living, breathing, ever-evolving masterpiece. And for over 5 decades now, one voice has told it like no other. Channel Africa. More than just a broadcaster, Channel Africa is the pulse of the continent, African-led, African-run, and deeply rooted in its heritage. It's the only international station that speaks to Africa in its own voices: English, Kiswahili, Chinyanja, French, and Portuguese. The languages that unite 1 billion people. We have been there through every shift, every milestone, and every triumph. Not just reporting history, but shaping the conversations that define Africa's future. For brands, media planning, and advertisers, Channel Africa is more than just a platform. It's an opportunity. With 25 compelling shows covering current affairs, sports, business, music, and lifestyle, we deliver an engaging Pan-African audience ready to connect, invest, and act. Multi-award winning, internationally recognized, digitally accessible across the globe. When Africa speaks, the world listens, and Channel Africa makes sure of it. For business, for culture, for Africa. Partner with Channel Africa because Africa's voice is the future. Africa is a story, a living, breathing, ever-evolving masterpiece. And for over 5 decades now, one voice has...
One Central African. Ooh, that smile is distracting me from our guest. 15 minutes after One Central African time. It's such a broad smile. But before we get there, we heard from Your Number by AOJ, yeah?
Nigeria well represented this afternoon on our Music Friday.
No, it really is. It's like dominating.
Right?
It's not well represented only. It's pretty much dominating.
Okay, if you're going to go for degrees of wellness, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Let's get into our first conversation this afternoon. Today, it's tonight somewhere. Today.
Not on the African continent, my brother.
Today, we shine a light on Thaddeus Mbata, a multi-talented rising star whose creativity moves seamlessly between screen and studio. Last year, he released his debut EP, a deeply personal 6-track project, 6 years in the making.
Sure.
Can you imagine?
Talk about dedication.
Oh, my goodness, the patience. My goodness. With raw reflections on love, anxiety, and healing, Thaddeus invites listeners into a space of vulnerability and truth on that body of work. And that's just one side of him. As an actor, dancer, and storyteller, he's lit up the screens on Netflix, on Hamulifi, Queendom, Netflix's Bad Influencer. Whether it's through music or motion, Thaddeus Mbata is a name you will remember for sure. Thaddeus, thank you so much for your time and welcome to The Upside.
Hello.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. That was a mouthful. I can't even believe what I'm hearing.
It's all you. It's all you.
That time it's all you. In actual fact, I should be greeting you and saying, hello, Thaddeus, hello. I see you're doing Medea skits nowadays. How would Medea say hello to us?
Hello.
I love it. Let's talk about that EP. 6 years in the making. What was this always the plan? In other words, did you know that music is the journey and the path for me, or did it strike you by accident? Because 6 years speaks to dedication. It speaks to passion for this particular field.
Absolutely. As far as I remember, I've always sung. I've always been a singer and a lover of music. Growing up, that's all I did actually was to sing all the time. I remember, funny story in preschool. So we used to sing the national anthem. And so the usual singing of the national anthem in the usual generic way, I would be in the back singing it my way, riffing and running, while the other kids are singing it, in a more generic way, but I'm adding some spices to it. So I think the singing bug has always been there. And I guess when I grew into a teenager, I started learning more about writing music and learning more about behind the scenes of music and stuff. And so by the time I grew, everything just came together in the most beautiful sense.
Oh, and beautiful it certainly is. You touch on a number of themes in your music, Thaddeus, and those are of anxiety, healing, love, and joy. How do you approach your writing? From a place of personal stories?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's always the thing. From a place of personal stories, but also from a place of relating to, relating to people, because I read a lot about pop culture, so I use a lot of phrases from there and just adding creativity and stuff to just spice things up as well.
Well, we are currently in conversation with superstar Thaddeus Mbata. It's 19 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African Time. The conversation continues after this.
Es-tu préoccupé par quelque chose? Es-tu passionné par les questions qui comptent? As-tu une voix qui mérite d'être entendue? Eh bien, nous avons la plateforme parfaite pour toi. Téléphone-nous ou fais-nous un WhatsApp au +27 66 408 87 42 et nous te rappellerons. Sois dans la conversation.
Salut Channel Africa, ici Beno le diamant rouge et Binal Export depuis le Cameroun, le pays des lions. Voilà.
Sois dans la conversation. Il ne s'agit pas seulement de parler, mais c'est ta chance d'exprimer ton point de vue, de partager tes opinions et de t'engager avec une communauté qui valorise ton avis. Suivez-nous sur les réseaux sociaux, visitez notre site www.channelafrica.co.za et préparez-vous à partager vos points de vue sur Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
We take no sides, none whatsoever. We are the upside.
It is indeed the upside. It's 20 minutes after 1 Central African Time. Look, just before we continue with our interview, I want to urge you to head on over to our live stream on YouTube. It's at Channel Africa. Just so you can see our guest's face and smile, and it's just so welcoming. You can totally understand why he is in the entertainment industry, because there's something about you, and just from looking at you and your spirit that just invites you in. I understand why you are an entertainer. Do you get that a lot?
Ooh, I do. Funny story. My song, the last track on the EP, it's called Happy Smile.
Yeah.
I wrote it from a place of, I remember when I was in high school and my parents used to send me to go fill up petrol at the petrol station and buy bread. There's this lady who would always tell me, you're always smiling. Like this, you're always smiling, because that's how I am with everyone. So yeah, I completely get that part.
Sure.
You then, Thaddeus, your social media presence is rather large.
Yeah.
Hey, talk to us about getting into the content creation space. I mean, yes, the music, we've spoken about the music and your passion for it, and we'll delve deeper into that a bit later. But then the content creation, where did that come from? Was it also one of those, hey, during COVID, hey, let me also start creating videos so that I can be a millionaire one day?
Well, I guess for me, my content creation journey began rather after COVID, just when the rules were getting a bit lax, because it's always been my passion for entertainment, my passion for television and acting, more specifically. So I sort of realized that with content creation, I can exercise, this passion that I have for acting, because when you come from a black family, they tell you all the time, you can't go and study anything entertainment-wise in varsity. Find something that's a bit more sustainable.
Yeah.
So with social media, I realized that I could use this as a platform to, exercise this passion that I have. Luckily, I did start it while I was still in varsity. at UCT. I studied political science and governance. So by the time I graduated, I had something sustainable to go into. So I told my parents, I said, hey, here's a degree, guys. Now I want to venture into what I actually want to. Yeah.
And so tell us, let's go back to you've got so much going on for you, honestly.
Right.
The EP, who did you work with? Who produced it?
So I worked with a couple of producers. One of them is Fonzo. He's all the way from Cape Town. He was so incredible. I think the studio sessions were so creative. He gave me the space to also be creative and also added his own creativity to the mix. So it was such a beautiful working environment.
Are we going to see a part 2, an EP version 2 at some point?
Full album.
A full album, because I think we deserve it.
Absolutely, yes, it is rather in the mix. And I am pushing, singing covers on social media as well. I sing all the time on social media and people love that. So I'm really just trying to put myself out there as an artist as much as I can.
And tell us about, the road ahead as well in terms of your career, looking at creating a full album. But what else is in the wings for you?
It's definitely more television projects.
Nice.
And it's definitely being involved in philanthropy work. As I said, I did do political science and governance. So I think now that I've got this platform, I really want to be involved in philanthropy work and giving back and raising awareness on social things that really matter. So, yeah.
Acting, Thaddeus, for a lot of people seems very daunting. From the outside, it's very easy, just say 1 or 2 lines. But walk us through the journey of an actor, because you are a musician, but then getting into the acting space. What challenges did you have to overcome, and what did you learn from it?
I've learned a lot, hey? And I've also learned that acting is such a deep realm. Getting into and I guess the transition from being a content creator, I have full creativity and control of what I produce and what I do. But then when when it's production and it's television, then it's somebody else's ideas. And so I have to work around that and I have to, adjust to that thing. So it can be quite challenging in that realm, but I have the understanding that it's quite a different space.
Yeah.
And so I have to also adjust in that space.
All right. Tell us where people can find you on social media.
It's at Today's Official on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, all of them.
There are many young people who are trying to get into the industry, whether it be content creation, music, as well as acting. What advice would you have for them?
I think now that we are in a digital era, you really have full control of where you want to place yourself, because I think the time of knocking on people's doors and trying to share people's piece of the pie is sort of over. Now you can sort of create your own pie and create your own. So I really, really, really say look into that and just start your own thing, because
authenticity then as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Authenticity is very important as well.
I need to know then, Thaddeus, because when it comes to, yes, we spoke about the acting, right? And you then transitioning from musician, content creator to an actor. There are a lot of people who still frown upon content creators just because the hype is on them on social media. Now they're getting screen time. In actual fact, you look like you've put in some work for when it comes to the acting. You are really brilliant at it. Did you go to study it? How did you go about it?
It's always been a natural gift for me, because as I said, growing up, I knew that I wanted to, when I watched some of my favorite icons on television, I knew that I wanted to get there. So it's all a matter of how do I then do it? So the social media was my sort of creative outlet, but I do have the natural, talent and skill for it. And also right now, I'm in a program, it's called Actor Spaces. It's an actors program for about 12. And I'm about to be done with that. And now I'm exposing myself to things like theater as well, just to get the background work and also just to harness that talent. So for me, it's a matter of learning as much as I can, as much as I have the natural talent, but it's a matter of going back to the drawing board and seeing how can I grasp a lot of things to help me evolve as well.
We've had Actor Spaces on the show. What a brilliant, brilliant program. Who are your influences in the industry, whether it be music, content creation, or even acting?
Hlomla Dandala, Masasa Mbangeni, Etambuli for music. I like there's a lot. There's quite a lot. Yeah.
And before we let you go, let's get the pronunciation of your name properly. Is it Thaddeus or Thaddeus? Which one is it?
Thaddeus.
Oh dear, we had a complete.
This whole time. Anyway.
Were your parents reading Shakespeare at the time? What was the inspiration?
Thaddeus is from the Bible. So I come from a Catholic family. And so when you get baptized in the Catholic family, you get given a name from the Bible. So Judas, apparently he was the cousin of Jesus.
Oh, my goodness. So you see now, for
Thaddeus?
those who are fans, now we know better. And of course, we cannot let Thaddeus leave and hang up on us without him, just serenading us with his lovely velvety voice.
Okay. I've got a way for you. I've got to be your truth. I've got to love Channel Africa.
Thaddeus. You just wrapped up the week beautifully for us. So thank you so much for gracing us.
Brilliant.
It's been such a pleasure having you on.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I really loved being here.
Oh, the voice there of Thaddeus Mbatha. Say it properly from now on. Say it properly. Thank you so much for joining us on the line there. Thaddeus, check him out on social media. Check him out on TikTok so you can see his smile.
Head
and
over
he's singing.
to our live stream. You can actually rewind and listen back to what he had to say in case you missed the interview. Thaddeus Mbatha.
That's brilliant.
Oh, man. We can wrap it up now. Hey, we can call it a day.
We're done. You know what? Figure, take over. It's okay. Take over. Figure, it's 30 minutes after 1.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Good afternoon, guys. We start off with football news. Kenya's national under-20 football team, also known as the Rising Stars, assistant coach Anthony Akulia says their experience at the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt has inspired them to try and conquer the East African region to ensure they constantly qualify for the tournament. Rising Stars played at the tournament for the first time ever after finishing second in the CECAFA regional qualifiers, losing to Tanzania in the final. In Cairo, the team picked up a point off a last day 2-2 draw with Nigeria while they lost to Morocco and Tunisia. Akulia believes they show their worth in the tournament and should be qualifying constantly. He says their performances in Cairo show the team's worth and is optimistic if they qualify for a second time, they will do better than they did in their debut. Now, wheelchair tennis. South African wheelchair tennis star Donald Rampardi admits that he struggled to adjust on the clay court in the first round of the 2025 Barcelona Open. This was after he endured a 6-3, 6-1 defeat against Brazil's Leandro Peña at the Real Club de Tenis. Rampardi adds that he is disappointed that Peña remained consistent throughout the match, which made it difficult for him to catch up.
I definitely didn't have a good start. So I lost against Peña from Brazil. I thought I was gonna adjust to play quickly, but unfortunately it didn't happen like that because me training, me preparing for this tournament, I was practicing on hard court, so I struggled because with clay, the eye coordination should be on top, so I struggled with that.
Rampardi further admits that he struggles a lot against Peña in singles, considering his outstanding application on clay court over the years.
Peña is one of the players that I struggle a lot with him. The way he plays and how I play, I think with him, he understands my game, but I really don't understand the way he plays. He has this weird forehand and his backhand is powerful. So I get to the point whereby I'm like, which one should I? Because the forward, you never know where he's gonna take it. Like he's just unpredictable. So.
Now, basketball news. South African team made by basketball head coach Sam Vincent says their back-to-back wins in the Basketball Africa League Nile Conference shows their growth as the tournament progresses. The 2 wins see the South African representatives keep alive their hopes of qualifying for the playoffs in Pretoria next month, and Vincent feels his players are slowly finding their rhythm.
I would just say growth. Our team has grown. When you put new guys together, even when they're very talented, it takes time to build chemistry and to get to know each other. And now our guys have gotten to the point where they play together, they joke together. The bonding has really been happening, and we can see it on the floor. Guys are communicating, they're covering for each other, looking for each other, and that's making us a stronger team. So I think where we are today, in the next game, we want to play a little bit better. Our goal is to keep on getting better every time we play.
Let's end with athletics. Double world indoor champion Mujinga Kambunji and national hero Commonwealth Games 100-meter champion Ferdinand Omanyala are among star attractions expected at this year's Cape Kano Classic on the 31st of May. The two are among 189 athletes who will compete in different categories at the 6th edition of the World Continental Tour Gold, set for the Ulinzi Sports Complex. Meet director Banaba Korir says the event will be bigger and better than last year's as these athletes battle for top honor. Kambuji will be making her debut at the one-day meet, whereas Omanyala is expected to once again light up the stadium with his electrifying performance in the men's 100 meters. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. This is Channel Africa Sport with me, File Lingwati.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Hey guys, question. Have you thought about what happens between 9 o'clock until midday, Saturday and Sunday? Well, it's me. Those that know me call me the fun police, and I'm that girl, that voice on your radio. My name is Pule Mulebati. I'm all about the finer things in life. Where to go, what to wear, who to see, and ultimately what to do. We aspire to bring you the best in travel, entertainment, with a dash or maybe a dose of laughter. And then, of course, we switch things up a bit when we look at technology. I love what's happening with AI because you blink, something new pops up. So the challenge is constantly there. I'm learning every single time on the show. So catch me every single Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. until midday Central African Time, Baba.
It is 36 minutes after 1 Central African Time. Nosipo Zuma standing by with the business news. I see there's breaking news here in South Africa, potentially confirming Elon Musk's Starlink coming to the country. Yeah, let's see. Nosipo?
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thank you, team. Good afternoon. Nompumelelo, we do not have that confirmation yet, so once we have it, we'll run with the story. Now, for your business news, the SAWA, Zambia Central Bank, has kept its main interest rate unchanged after 2 raise decisions, citing an expected slowdown in inflation. The Bank of Zambia maintained its monetary policy rate at 14.50% after hiking it by 50 basis points each at its last meetings in February and November to tame consumer inflation, which sits well above the bank's 6% to 8% target range. The country's annual inflation rate was at 16.5% in April, unchanged from the previous month. South Africa's Automobile Association AAA has strongly criticised the government's decision to increase their general fuel levy. Finance Minister Noko Dongwana announced a 16 South African cents per litre increase for petrol and 15 South African cents per litre for diesel on Wednesday when he tabled the 2025 budget. The fuel levy hike, which is set to take effect next month, comes after a 3-year freeze. The AAA has warned that it will exacerbate the cost of living for South Africans. Spokesperson Eleanor Mavimbela.
We do think it could not have come at a worse time because consumers are currently having to battle high food prices, high electricity tariffs, high unemployment and the likes. And fuel is an input cost across all economic sectors. So when fuel goes up, it means transportation costs go up. It means operational costs go up, meaning that it drives up inflation. So consumers across the board, not just motorists, are going to suffer because of the increase in the GFL.
Mavimbela further says they will engage with civil society, labour and the transport sector to identify fair and sustainable revenue models.
We definitely do think that it's time for us to try to find other funding models for the taxes that form part of the fuel price, to looking at your general fuel levy as well as your road accident fund levy that forms part of the fuel pricing structure. Another thing is we definitely do think that there needs to be transparency and a forensic audit done with regards to the revenue generated and how it's used with regards to the general fuel levy and the road accident fund levy.
A Malian court has postponed for the second time a hearing on whether to place Barrick Mining's Loulo-Gounkoto gold mine under provisional administration to restart operations. The presiding judge, Mohamedou Tebogo Keita, says the state requested an adjournment until the 2nd of June. Mali's government has meanwhile asked the local court to appoint a provisional administrator to take over Barrick's mine, which it suspended in January over the alleged non-payment. Barrick has denied the charges. Oil prices have dropped for a 4th consecutive session and were set for their first weekly decline in 3 weeks, weighed down by renewed supply pressure from another possible OPEC Plus output hike in July. Brent futures fell 48 cents to $63.96 a barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures lost 48 cents to $60.72. For the week, Brent has fallen 2.3% and WTI has dropped 2.9% following 2 weeks of gains. Your financial indicators: $1 US in Nigeria is trading at 159 naira 35. In Botswana, it's 13 pula 32. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shilling 37, and in Zambia, it's 27 kwacha 19. The BRICS countries: $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 real 65. Russia is 79 rubles 65. India is 85 rupees 87. China, it's 7 yuan 20. And in South Africa, $1 is trading at 17 rand 98. $1 is trading at 74 pence to the British pound and 88 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is trading at $3,327 and platinum at $1,085 per ounce. The price of Brent crude oil is at $64.22 a barrel. Now, for any business news stories you would like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I'm Nusi Posuma.
Business News on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Darubini ya Afrika na I am Henry Shakif.
Hawa wa Afrika Kusini wenye asili ya kizungu ambao wamepewa ukimbizi huko nchini Marekani. Je, nini chanzo cha wao kuomba ukimbizi nchini Marekani?
Wenyewe wajaomba ukimbizi. Kuna shirika fulani inaitwa AfriForum, shirika mbili za wazungu ambao wanatetea haki ya wazungu hapa, AfriForum na Solidarity. Hao walienda Marekani kufanya kampeni kusema kwamba wazungu wananyanyaswa hapa Afrika Kusini, na walivyofanya hiyo kampeni serikali iweze kuwafuatilia kujua nini ambacho mnasema kwamba mnanyanyaswa.
Kuna namna ya wao kwamba wamepoteza kutetea uraia wa Afrika Kusini? Na je, endapo Trump akamaliza muda wake madarakani, uhalali wao wa kuishi nchini Marekani ukoje?
Itakuwa vigumu, kifupi itakuwa vigumu wenyewe kupoteza uraia wao.
Darubini ya Afrika 11 kamili hadi 12 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
Connecting Africa to the world. The Upside with Nompumelelo Ngubeni and Tebogo. Bringing you Africa's brightest ideas and untold stories.
It's 43 minutes after 1 Central African Time. Welcome back to The Upside. My name is Nompumelelo Ngubeni, and I am always with Tebogo Lekhuleni. We do shine the spotlight now on boxing, because this Saturday, the 24th of May, the Big Top Arena at Carnival City will come alive. And this is as Back to the City spotlights a 10-round title fight between Katleho Khanyisa as well as Laki Munyebane, as they battle for the IBF Continental Africa Junior Lightweight crown. Now, it's a clash that has all the makings of a classic, with both fighters bringing passion and precision to this ring. The undercard features a lineup of talent, including international contestants for Lerato Dlamini and Siko Nokotole, and potential title opportunities for Frank Sotomela and Ishmael Kadri. We are joined on the line to have this conversation with us by Larry Weinstein of Back to the City, and he's a boxing promoter. Larry, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good afternoon, Nompumelelo. Thank you for this opportunity. Appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure. You know, from a person who does not know much about boxing, Larry, can you share the vision behind Back to the City event, and what inspired you to bring such a dynamic lineup?
So, when our Nompumelelo Castle came back from Japan, and then we were offered to make his title defense in South Africa, we approached Carnival City because we thought that would be ideal to put the world title defense on at that venue. And the reason we did it, and then what happened, we had to change because Kafu has now been offered to go to Dallas on the 19th of July, which in his interest we had to take that fight, and we didn't want to disappoint. We got a tournament on the 24th, and he's bringing boxing City. So we looked to say, how else could we make it that the boxing public in South Africa we could do justice to by disappointing them about not putting on the title fight. And this is how it came about. And just to tell you that you've got Tebogo, Lucky, but you've also got two other IBS title fights, the Frank Sotomela and Ishmael Kadri. So we've got 3 IBF titles, which I don't think any promoter has done.
Larry, your sound, the background sound is overpowering you slightly. Are you able to take us off Bluetooth?
Yes, I can.
All right. As Larry does that, just a reminder of what we're talking about. We are speaking about Back to the City. That is an event that is taking place on the 24th of May out at the Top Arena at Carnival City. And it really is going to be spotlighting some significant or prominent boxers. And Larry is joining us to just tell us a little bit more about Back to the City and what really they are looking to do. Larry, let's try that again.
I'm back. How is it?
Oh, wonderful. You are crisp.
Sorry, because I'm driving back from the city. I've got to go back and then go back. So sorry about that. But,
go ahead.
Okay, so the significance is the last time there was boxing at Carnival City was probably about 20 years ago where any title fights took place.
Wow.
And so we've brought it back to them, and the venue is an outstanding venue, and it's deserved of 3 title fights, plus 2 international fights, which is Lerato Dlamini and Nokotole. Now, the significance of that is Lerato is rated number 2 in the world, and Sequence is rated number 8 in the world. So it's a top international flavor because the IFP guys are fighting also guys that are rated and there are up-and-coming fighters, and that's the first step to going into the IDF ratings in the world.
Larry, let's talk about the fanfare. There was a time in South Africa where boxing was consumed every single weekend. People would gather around their television to watch the latest boxing match. Are we still there? Is there still a fanfare around boxing as a sport? Do the stadiums, do the rings fill up when such events are being brought to the table?
Unfortunately, I go back to years ago when I got in. Well, family was involved in boxing, and then I moved out of boxing into soccer. But in those days, there was only 2 sports in South Africa. There was soccer and boxing.
Yeah.
And boxing had the following like you can't believe. But what has happened is the media, the TV media, and that they only do it on a Friday night, and they don't give it the kudos it deserves, because these guys are top fighters. When they go overseas, they account themselves a hell of a well. And it's just unfortunate that even the corporates, when you go to them and say, what about coming into boxing and making it back to the glory days? No, boxing is brutal. Yet the same sponsors go and they sponsor rugby. Now, you tell me. I don't know, it's about me. But I'm biased because I sit on the side, so...
Larry, you mentioned that the undercard has a bit of a mix of experienced fighters as well as rising stars. Tell us about some of the key matchups and what they mean for the fighters who are involved.
Right. So obviously we're headlining it because it was IDF. So we headlined Katlego against Lucky. And then you've got the 2 IFP titles. And the guys are they've won more fights than they've lost. That's why they qualify. You have to prove and you have to qualify, which they... The other fights on the card is Lerato Domini that last year went to Japan and he was fighting an eliminator and lost split decision. So he needs to just keep busy, and then he'll challenge again for the world title. And Sequence, we're taking him through the rankings, and he's been to Mexico and he lost on a split decision to an opponent who went to fight for the world title, and he drew with the champion. And now they're having a rematch, and we're just waiting for that rematch because then you want to challenge that fighter with him, so you'll be going fighting internationally, and that's the way it works in boxing. You've got to place them and get them to that those categories. Then going further down the line, we've got our babies, which we call our babies. You've got Josh Veltman. Josh Veltman has fought 6 times, and he's 6-0 unbeaten. We've got another youngster that we thought give him an opportunity is Darren Zimmerman. Darren has fought twice and he's won twice in his 3rd fight. And then we've got a boy by the name of Hassan. This is his first professional fight. He's a debutant. So, but we think he's good enough to showcase him on a bill like this.
Larry, the headliners, Lucky and Katlego.
Yes.
10 rounds. Are we hoping to get all 10 rounds based on what you've seen from both of these fighters? Are we likely to see 10 rounds completed?
There's no doubt, because you know the difference between when you fight for a title like an IDF or one of those.
Yeah.
You got to get sanctioning that the fighter is good enough to fight on the ball, both of them. You don't just get it for the sake of getting it and they're in one round and they're out. Look, boxing is boxing and it can happen. But I don't expect for that to happen. And then also something that we do, if people go into Facebook, Boxing 5, and you pick Fight of the Night, there's a 5,000 prize for the person who nominates Fight of the Night. That's what Boxing 5 does. And I promise you, that fight between Black Cat and Lucky will go close to being Fight of the Night. Definitely.
Talk to us about what fans can expect in terms of the overall experience at the Big Top Arena. Are there any specific activities or features planned for the evening?
The evening is, from our point of view, and working with the IDF and all of them, you've got the venue itself, and there's food courts and there's this and that. From our point of view, we hopefully, and Boxing 5 has got a record for putting on good fights, so that we get a lot of fans coming to watch the boxing. And we have done artists and that, but this one, because we had to do it in the time we did, so we've just told people that people are going to come to watch boxing, and we've even looked at the price tickets so that we can get the boxing fans to come to boxing.
Yeah.
There is a lot of talent and a lot of stuff that gets done at these tournaments. There's one in Pretoria where it was fantastic, but we focus on the boxing and the boxers' careers.
Beyond the physical skills, Larry, what makes a great boxer for you?
Let me tell you, our sort of manager and who signs up boxers. We don't sign up boxers, but our partner, Colin Nathan, I'm sure people have heard of him and he's been on your shows, Nomakanjani, that's the advisor for our boxers, and he's part of Boxing 5. So what makes a good boxer? We can sign up a boxer. If he's not dedicated, he hasn't got the right temperament, he doesn't have the right the ability to knuckle down, and he has to give up sacrifices, we then unfortunately got to give it to those who have those attributes, and they fit into our into our legacy of Boxing 5. So there is those things where he's taken on boxers and they've won 2 fights and then they start misbehaving, and then we just, instead of wasting time on them and wasting money, which we could be wrong, but we'd rather give it to guys that are going to be dedicated and are going to put their all into it. And you've got to give up a lot if you're in boxing. And that's what we look for.
You speak about, the types of boxers that you work with. The professional debut of Hamza Hassim has generated quite a bit of buzz on social media. What can fans expect from him?
So he's one of the guys that should have fought on our up-and-coming development tournament in April. But his fighter didn't pitch for some reason.
He was scared.
Yeah, whatever happens. But I can tell you, on that tournament, our new boys that came on, 5 of them, and of the 5, 3 of them are SA champs. One has gone to games. So they come with a good amateur pedigree. And that also helps a lot. You've got to have those fights. I've dealt with a lot of boys from the Eastern Cape, and everyone says the Eastern Cape is the home of boxing. It is. But you know why? Because the boxers that I've trained, like Kafu had 122 amateur fights before he turned professional.
Wow.
The guys that had all those type of fights. So unless you do the work as an amateur, it's very seldom that the guys come in as good professionals. Now you can imagine. Now there's a boy, what does it take? Kafu stayed in East London last year, July, he was still in East London. He approached us, we brought him up 2 months with us. He leaves home, he comes to stay in a gym and he works out and leaves his family behind. So this is what it takes. You've got to give up stuff and you've got to be dedicated. 2 months later he gets offered a world title, goes to Japan and wins it. That's life-changing stuff. And now he's been offered a unification fight in South Africa hasn't been done in the last 20 years.
Wow.
You know how big this is for South African boxing, and that we're going on to the top stage. He's headlining the bill in Dallas with a guy that's pound for pound one of the best boxers in the world, Bam Rodriguez. So this is what it takes, and that's what you get out when you put in and deserve. You've got to have the talent, but you've got to also give up the easy life.
And so that is what kind of has a boxer having the right pedigree, the number of games that they play, the type of dedication that they show towards the sport.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That is it. And you got to give up all your friends and the nightlife and the girls. You got to focus.
Larry, listen, in an effort to revive boxing in South Africa, so that the prize pool gets bigger and more sponsors jump on board and more fans flock to the rings and support, are we going to see more matches and on this scale being brought forward?
Definitely will, because there are some guys that are putting effort into it. I mean, in May, in the beginning of May, there was a tournament at Sunbet. Kevin Marina fought, and it was packed. And that's where it is now, bringing the people back to boxing. That type of show, where he was a heavyweight WBC, bridgerweight champion, and he fought somebody from overseas. and Sunbet was packed. So this is what it takes to have, and you've got to be like-minded, and it doesn't matter, you must work with the promoters. I don't mind working with other promoters to put on a show that the boxers benefit, but in boxing, everyone's got egos, and everyone wants to do it themselves. Well, that's the problem. That is the problem.
Larry, just give us the details of where people can purchase tickets, the different types of tickets for the evening, and remind us when it is going on.
Well, the tournament, I've just come from there and weighed the boxes, and they've done everything, and everybody's fine. Tomorrow night at the Carnival City, and there's tickets ranging from $275 going up to 900 Rand. So we brought it down so people can afford the $275, and we want families to come because that's how you get people interested in. So it's tomorrow starting at 7. The gates open at 5, and there are tickets available at the door.
Wonderful.
Larry, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for reviving boxing. Back when it was just still soccer and boxing. Now there's cricket, rugby. We are hoping that boxing also features.
No, we hope, and thanks to guys like you who give the opportunity to show what's going on, because people, I know if you look at the digital pages, they're flying, and that's the other thing. We teach our boxers to be good ambassadors and to they must look after their image and make themselves look that people want to come see them and they want to get followers.
Amazing. And all the best for tomorrow, Larry.
And thank you to you guys. Really appreciate it. And let's look what happens tomorrow.
Larry Weinstein there, back to the city boxing promoter. All right, we're inching closer to the top of the hour as Tebogo practices his jabs there. What was that?
I realized that was like
I think I can throw probably a better punch, my brother.
What's that? Was the what's that dance? The pouncing cat or something like that. That wasn't the boxing. That would never make it to the back to the city. No, it would not.
Let me give you a piece of advice that Larry, in fact, I'm just reiterating Larry's words here. Give it all up. Everything that you're doing after work, give it up. You might even need to give this up in order to have a chance, a fighting chance, okay?
Well, thank you.
Because that was not convincing. All right, it's 2 o'clock Central African time. Let's head on over to the news.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Top stories this hour: scores of miners trapped in South Africa and Ukrainian drone injures 8 people. Approximately 300 miners are still trapped underground in South Africa's Sibanye Stillwater's Kloof Gold Mine in western area Johannesburg. The miners have been underground since yesterday after equipment failure caused debris to damage the main shaft, cutting off their exit route. No injuries have been reported, however concerns are mounting over the well-being of the workers. National Union of Mine Workers spokesperson Lekhuleni Mamburu says that the miners have been without food and water since they were trapped underground.
We are still waiting for the preliminary report that will tell us exactly what happened. But as the National Union of Mine Workers, we are very worried about this incident because the company did not want to say anything about it. And the latest update that the company gave to our members at the surface is that they are saying that the 300 mine workers will resurface at around midday, 12 o'clock this afternoon. But we're waiting as a National Union of Mine Workers. But what worries us is that since yesterday, when this incident happened, workers do not have access to water and food.
Congo's Senate has voted overwhelmingly in favor of lifting former President Joseph Kabila's immunity from prosecution in a late-night vote on Thursday over his alleged links to the M23 rebel group. Kabila is wanted in Congo for alleged crimes against humanity for supporting the insurgency in the east, including a role in the massacre of civilians and personnel. Congo has also moved to suspend his political party and seize the assets of its leaders. Kabila, who denies any ties to the rebel group, stepped down after almost 20 years in power in 2018, yielding to protests. He has been out of the Central African country since late 2023, mostly in South Africa. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has conveyed his condolences to family and friends of struggle veteran Gertrude Shope. She died at her home in the Gauteng province yesterday at the age of 99. Mashope, as she was affectionately known, was born in Johannesburg but grew up in Zimbabwe. She was trained as a teacher and later taught in the former Natal and in Soweto. Mashope also served as ANC Women's League president. Presidential spokesperson Vincent Magwenya.
South Africa has lost an eminent national heroine and a mother to our nation. During a lifetime of close on a century, Mashope made a monumental contribution to our struggle for a free and inclusive South Africa, while inspiring generations of women and men to emulate her commitment.
South Africa's Police Minister Senzo Mchunu says that there has been a general decline in crime across the country. However, sexual offences, including rape and commercial crimes, have increased in the fourth quarter. Mchunu, together with the National Police Commissioner General Fani Masemula, is presenting the latest crime statistics in Pretoria. Mchunu says that the murder rates continue to be a major concern, with Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal and the Eastern Cape, as well as the Western Cape, dominating criminality in the country. The governor of the Russian region of Lipsk says a Ukrainian drone attack and fire in an industrial zone has wounded 8 people. Videos online show a large explosion, and local residents speak of several incoming drones at a battery production plant in Yelets. The governor says that 20 apartments have also been damaged. However, nobody appears to have been seriously wounded. To recap the top story, approximately 300 miners are still trapped underground in South Africa's Sibanye-Stillwater's Kloof Gold Mine in Western Area Johannesburg. The miners have been underground since yesterday after equipment failure caused debris to damage the main shaft. For any news stories that you would like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I am Nolutando Butelezi.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
It's 7 minutes after 2 Central African Time. Welcome to the second hour of The Upside with me, Nompumelelo, Ngubeni and Tebogo Lekhuleni, with you for 2 more hours. Unfortunately, if you've just joined us, where have you been? You've missed the conversation we had with Thaddeus?
Taddy.
No, Thaddeus. No.
We've been calling him Thaddeus the whole time. So
Thaddeus.
Thaddeus.
Thaddeus Mbata. A singer, an actor, an influencer. All-round personality. You know, when you speak about a personality, the X Factor. I remember growing up, there were continuity presenters on television, which meant that these were presenters who were linking one show to another, to another, to another. And often they were chosen according to them having an X factor. You know, like personalities, media personalities had to have an X factor. Thaddeus, for me, has an X factor.
He's brilliant. His career trajectory is going to keep skyrocketing.
Oh, man.
To the moon and beyond.
We love it. Speaking about trajectory and moving and moons and travel to different places.
Our guest in this hour.
Yeah.
Oh, her name is, and I hope I'm pronouncing it properly. I mean, you'll correct us. If Asamatus from Mozambique. She's based in France.
Yeah.
But she is currently in South Africa, doing some work, collaborating. We'll find out about these collaborations, and we'll also find out when she's actually coming to South Africa to perform. She'll be performing at Bushfire in Eswatini.
Yes.
Yes, and where else?
As well as in Mozambique.
So
she's got those 2 big concerts happening. But she's working, she's cooking, as the youngsters would say, in studio.
She's in her bag.
Here in South Africa.
She is in her bag.
And you know, the really exciting part is that she's joining us in studio. She is in studio. So check us out on our live stream and check her out on our live stream. It's at Channel Africa on YouTube, on Facebook, and engage with us on our TikTok account, as well as Instagram, as well as Facebook at Channel Africa without a 1, and everywhere else on X and so on is at Channel Africa 1.
Did you know, I was 2 years old when I found out that karaoke, the word karaoke, means empty orchestra.
In what language?
Japanese.
Oh,
in
really?
Japanese, kara, it comes from 2 words.
Yeah.
Kara comes from the word karapo, meaning empty or void, and oki, with karaoke, comes from the word okesutura, or orchestra. So bring the 2 together. Karaoke is actually empty orchestra. Similar principle applies when you're looking at the word karate.
Yeah.
Empty hand.
Yeah, and it's true, right? Because you are singing to nothing at karaoke.
I thought I would just chip it in there because we're talking all things music.
And after yesterday and your attempt at singing, I now know that if we were to be in a team, if we had to choose a team to sing with at karaoke.
Of course you'd choose me. It's like there's no brainer. You heard the voice yesterday.
I'd choose you in a lot of other activities.
Including singing?
No. I'd choose you in like an amazing race competition. I think you'd be great. No, you wouldn't want to do that.
I would be great at that. No, I'm still frowning. I'm still frowning at the fact that you wouldn't choose me for singing. Honestly, you were lost for words yesterday. Your jaw was literally on the floor.
What?
You could not contain yourself.
Not for good reason.
I'm sorry. It's
11 minutes after 2 Central African Time.
Are you fluent in French, Chinyanja, Portuguese, and Kiswahili? Are you passionate about radio? And are you looking to work in South Africa? Do you have papers that qualify you to work in South Africa? In that case, we might have an opportunity for you to work for Channel Africa. Send us your CV and demo at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Remember, if you don't hear from us within 14 days, it means you have not made it or you have not been selected. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Africa, it's time to plug into the heartbeat of the continent. Tune in to Channel Africa, your go-to radio station that broadcasts in 5 different languages.
L'Afrique du Sud célèbre la journée nationale du
Kabla hujaitwa kwa jina la Double K,
or more of our forests have been destroyed.
Tamo kwaduli bwanji ndi
Partido Africano da Independência da Guiné.
See, Channel Africa represents every corner of this amazing land. From Lagos to Cape Town, Nairobi to Dakar, we've got you covered with the freshest news, music, and cultures. So, turn up the volume, feel the rhythm. And join the conversation. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Channel Africa, your voice, your sound, and your home. Stay locked right here.
Au début, c'était tout nouveau, tout beau, avec elle, j'étais au 7e ciel. Par la suite, je faisais plein de mauvais rêves où elle me disait que c'était fini entre nous, ça me donnait des raisons valables. Mais tu sais, c'est quoi le pire? C'est que ces rêves étaient devenus réalité. Après tant d'années, quand j'ai les
Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda, as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Lekhuleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m., 5 till 6. We put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joël Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Derubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochi Tika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10, we take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana. 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones. On air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda, as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Lekhuleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m., 5 till 6. We put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joël Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Derubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochi Tika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10, we take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana. 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones. On air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Lekhuleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joel Muteba. We go to Eastern Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochi Tika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10, we take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Lekhuleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joel Muteba. We go to Eastern Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochi Tika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10, we take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Lekhuleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business. Set sail with us on a digital voyage like no other. Channel Africa has a treasure trove of awesomeness. That is our website and social media pages.
Tell me, why are you here?
We want you to be part of our adventure.
The winds are changing, Captain. And this time...
Imagine a world where curiosity knows no bounds, where entertainment meets enlightenment, and where every click leads to the African perspective. Visit us on our website, www.channelafrica.co.za, or follow us on Instagram or on X at Channel Africa 1. Go on, like us on Facebook at Channel Africa 1. So, spread the word. Tell a friend that Channel Africa's online variety is what they need on the web. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Your afternoons just got even better, fresh and exciting. The Upside, hooking you up with today's news from an African perspective.
It is 22 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African Time. Welcome to The Upside, the place to be this afternoon. We're coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios in Johannesburg, South Africa. And you can stream us live on our social media platform at Channel Africa 1 on X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and at Channel Africa on Facebook. Use the hashtag The Upside. It's time for What Caught Your Eye. And we can't wait. Listen, it's a conversation, this. We want to hear from you as well. What caught your eye? The whole idea behind What Caught Your Eye is for you to let us know something that literally caught your eye. There are things that what caught my eye is a bottle.
Well, maybe not literally.
Not like
you know,
that.
sometimes it's no.
Not literally.
No, not literally. It could have been an observation
Yes.
that you made, something that you've been ruminating about, and kind of have a light bulb moment around.
Yeah.
Something that caught your attention, essentially. But you know, just for effect,
Mhm.
we call it what caught your eye.
Right.
What caught yours?
So what caught my eye, and we had a similar story a couple of weeks ago where I shared of a young lady who sued her husband or her ex-husband for wasting time.
Her youth, for wasting her
youth. For stealing her youth.
Yeah.
Now there's a Zambian woman
Okay.
by the name of Gertrude Ngoma has dragged her long-term boyfriend, Herbert Salaliki, Herbie, to court after he ended their relationship, claiming he wasted her time. The 26-year-old told the court that Herbert...
She's also accusing her boyfriend of wasting her time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She says that her boyfriend had no intention of marrying her, but continued to lead her on. Gertrude, who lives with her parents and shares a child with Herbie, said she decided to sue him for not being serious about their future. He has never been serious. That's why I brought him to court, because I deserve to know the way forward and our future. In his defense, Herbie says that he reported to the court and he said that he was not financially ready for marriage and could no longer handle the pressure. What's your take on this situation? I mean, we had a similar one, but now this one is boyfriend. You are not legally, you didn't go get married, right? But this is now a long-term boyfriend, made promises, and now you're taking them to court. It's becoming a trend now. We're seeing a lot of people taking their partners to court for wasting their time. Is this the way forward? Is this how we approach things now?
Tebogo, if you get into a relationship with a woman and you say to her, I have intention of building a life with you, and in 3 years, 4 years, baby, just give me time, to get my ducks in a row, save up for that buffalo that your dad is going to want.
Yes.
And then you don't live up to your word. That woman has every right to take you to court and hold you accountable, because as a man, your word is quite literally all you have.
Right.
All you have. And I, or the woman in question, would have held on to that as your sword, and you don't live up to it. I think women are in every right to take men to court and hold them to account for their word.
Well, let us know what
because your
you
word
think.
is binding.
It is binding. Let us know what you think. Are you going to take your partner to court if they break their oath with you, their promises, don't fulfill the things that they said they'll fulfill? Will you take them to court? +27 63 406 9126 is the WhatsApp line. And perhaps have you done that? Maybe you're someone who has done that and the court ruled in your favor and you were compensated for that time lost. What caught your eye this afternoon?
Oh dear. What caught my eye is a story that is surprising me, because I don't know if it is not making as much of a noise as I anticipated it would because of everything else that's happening in the world.
Okay.
Or is it not making as much a noise as I thought it would because proceedings are private or closed door proceedings. And I'm talking here about the Diddy trial. Okay, we know that Cassie has already taken to the stand, and Cassie is Diddy's former girlfriend. She is the one that blew the lid over what has been happening, the escapades that Diddy has been involved with. Yesterday, Kid Cudi, who is also a musician out in the US, took to the stand. He used to be friends, in fact, with Diddy. Let's just listen to this quick report by Entertainment Tonight, and then we can discuss.
So George Kaplan, he's 34 years old, and he used to be the executive assistant for Sean Combs. And he finished his testimony today and said that he saw Sean Combs being violent on one incident on a private plane with other executive members. They were headed to Las Vegas, and he said he heard glass break, and he turned around and he described seeing Sean Combs over Cassie Ventura with a whiskey glass in his hand. So in that particular instance, he didn't talk specifically about seeing any physical abuse being done, but he also said that Cassie yelled out, "Isn't anybody seeing this?"
Men standing on top of you and urinating on you. These are some of the claims that the assistant to Diddy, former assistant, made in court. Kid Cudi, who I mentioned earlier on, went on and gave testimony in court saying that at some stage, so he had a relationship with Cassie, unbeknownst to Diddy. When Diddy found out, he was obviously incensed about it and broke into Kid Cudi's home.
He himself.
Diddy broke into Kid Cudi's home. And Kid Cudi went on to spend time at Kid Cudi's at Cassie's family home. And it's during that time that Cassie's mom received information that Cassie had about the abuse that she had suffered at the hands of Diddy. And Kid Cudi just talks about, how rampant the abuse was and how everyone in the industry knew and did nothing about it just because of how much of a juggernaut Diddy is in the industry. They speak about freak-offs, basically these parties where adult activity was happening for about up to 96 hours.
That's a lot of baby oil. Is what I saw initially with the videos, and that's what they found in those homes, and that played a pivotal role in these freak-offs. Disgusting, is to say the least. And to use your power.
Yeah.
To gain that much access and to have power over people and influence them like that.
Yeah. This
case and this proceeding is going to reveal so much. The underbelly of Hollywood.
It already
has. So can you
and
imagine?
It's sickening. All of it is sickening. I can just imagine what else is to come from this. How do you feel? And for me, it is the sheer disappointment of a man who's actually quite brilliant musically, quite talented, has made so many artists, but at what cost? Let us know what you make of all of this. What from the testimony that has been given in court stood out for you and caught your eye and made you sit up and say, thank goodness I'm just an ordinary man.
His daughter's coming
That's
to the
devastating.
There's no need
devastating.
For that, for them to be hearing all of this about their dad.
And the allegations that it's your father who killed your mother. The therapy that is needed there. +27634069126 at Channel Africa on all social media platforms. But it is 30 minutes after 2 Central African time. Fikile Lengwadi is standing by.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Let's save off with tennis news. 4-time French Open champion Iga Swiatek will face a serious challenge to her dominance of the tournament this month, with the former world number one going to Paris on the back of a disappointing season so far. Poland's Swiatek, who has dropped to 5th in the world rankings, has so far failed to win a title this year, despite a few deep runs in tournaments, including the Australian Open semi-finals. 23-year-old has already lost 9 matches this season, as many as in all of 2024, while she has not reached a clay court final ahead of her bid to retain the French Open. A 1-month doping ban late last year may have played its part, with Schreitek having tested positive for the banned substance trimazethazine in August 2024. She returned to action in October after an International Tennis Integrity Agency accepted the explanation that Schreitek's positive test was caused by contamination of her sleep medication melatonin. And Kenya's national under-20 football team, also known as the Rising Stars assistant coach Anthony Akulia, says their experience at the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt has inspired them to try and conquer East African region to ensure they constantly qualify for the tournament. Rising Stars played at the tournament for the first time ever after finishing second in the CECAFA regional qualifiers, losing to Tanzania in the final. In Cairo, the team picked up a point off a last day 2-2 draw with Nigeria, while they lost to Morocco and Tunisia. Akulia believes they show their worth in the tournament and should be qualifying constantly. He says their performances in Cairo show the team's worth and is optimistic if they qualify for a second time, they will do better than they did in the debut. And South African wheelchair tennis star Donald Ramparty admits that he struggled to adjust on the clay court in the first round of the 2025 Barcelona Open. This was after he endured a 6-3, 6-1 defeat against Brazil's Leandro Peña at the Real Club de Tennis. Ramparty adds that he's disappointed that Peña remained consistent throughout the match, which made it difficult for him to catch up.
I definitely didn't have a good start. So I lost against Pena from Brazil. I thought I was gonna adjust to play quickly, but unfortunately it didn't happen like that because me training, me preparing for this tournament, I was practicing on hard court. So I struggled because with clay, the eye coordination should be on top. So I struggle with that.
Ramparty further admits that he struggled a lot against Peña in singles, considering his outstanding application on clay court over the years.
Peña is one of the players that I struggle a lot with him. The way he plays and how I play, I think with him, he understands my game, but I really don't understand the way he plays. He has this weird forehand, and his backhand is powerful. So I get to the point whereby I'm like, which one should I? Because the forehand, you never know where he's gonna take it. Like he's just unpredictable. So
let's end with Kenya's double world indoor champion Mujinga Kambunji and national hero Commonwealth Games 100-meter champion Ferdinand Omanyala are among star attractions expected at this year's Kipkeino Classic on the 31st of May. The two are among 189 athletes who will compete in different categories at the 6th edition of the World Continental Tour Gold, set for the Ulinzi Sports Complex. Meet Director Barnaba Korir says the event will be bigger and better than last year's as these athletes battle for top honor. Kambuji will be making her debut at the one-day meet, whereas Omanyala is expected to once again light up the stadium with his electrifying performance in the men's 100 meters. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. This is Channel Africa Sport with me, Fidel Ngwati.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Você é fluente em português? É apaixonado por rádio e quer trabalhar na África do Sul? Você tem documentos que o qualificam para trabalhar na África do Sul? Nesse caso, podemos ter uma oportunidade para você trabalhar no Canal África. Envie seu currículo e demonstração para Canal África @newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Lembre-se, se você não receber alguma resposta nossa em 14 dias, isso significa que você não foi selecionado. Canal África, a perspectiva africana.
36 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African Time. Let's get the latest in business news with Nosipho Zuma.
Business News on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Tebogo. Good afternoon. In your business news this hour, former South African President Thabo Mbeki says the upcoming G20 summit should be used to raise the challenges faced by the continent. He was speaking at a dialogue on building consensus for South Africa's G20 Reigniting Africa's Renaissance in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania this morning. He says there are many major issues to raise in the interest of business and the continent, which should be reflected properly.
The initiative comes from Dar es Salaam, from Tanzania, to the rest of the continent that we need, so that we are no longer faced with these defeats, like we were defeated in 2010 about the G8 Africa Action Plan and defeated in 2011 about Libya. To say we are aiming for victory, but that victory entirely depends on our strength.
South Africa's Minister of Communications and Digital Technology, Solly Malatsi, has proposed changes to the triple BEE policies that could pave way for an investment by Starlink in South Africa. The government gazette released by the minister proposes amendments that relate to the 30% equity requirement for previously disadvantaged individuals for all new investment in the ICT sector. In a statement released today, the department says the changes are aimed to attract investment, specifically with regards to licensing for broadcasting, internet service, mobile network, and fixed and mobile networks. The draft policy proposes equity equivalent investment program, which allows multinational companies to meet empowerment requirements through other alternatives without complying with the ownership obligations. Malatsi explains.
Currently, the rules around who can acquire a license in the electronic communications services require a minimum of 30% shares to be in the hands of historically disadvantaged individuals. Equity equivalent investment programs provided for under the Broad-Based Black Economic Empowerment Act and the ICT sector codes allow qualifying multinationals to meet empowerment obligations, such as investing in local supplies, enterprise development and skills development, and job creation, research and innovation.
South Africa's Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana says insufficient revenue collection in the past financial year has forced government to cut spending in the budget for the 2025-2026 financial year. He told the four committees of Parliament on Finance and Appropriations that the National Treasury was forced to moderate the budget proposal.
That substantial reduction in revenue has required that we do additional small adjustment on the revenue side. But primarily, we had to moderate our ambitions. I must make the point, moderate our ambitions, because our ambitions, what we're talking about, was been to increase rather than to cut budgets. On the 12th, we're increasing the budget by 232 billion, and we're still increasing the budget by 180.1 billion. So we moderated our ambitions, but we're still increasing. And that is generally to deal with the impact on social service, particularly in provinces. Linked to that, we make the point that this budget is also not losing sight of the bigger picture of macroeconomic stability.
Zambia's central bank has kept its main interest rate unchanged after two raise decisions, citing an expected slowdown in inflation. The Bank of Zambia maintained its monetary policy rate at 14.50% after hiking it by 50 basis points each at its last meeting in February and November to tame consumer inflation, which sits well above the bank's 60% to 8% target range. The country's annual inflation rate was at 16.5% in April, unchanged from the previous month. And finally, oil prices have dropped for a fourth consecutive session and were set for their first weekly decline in 3 weeks, weighed down by renewed supply pressure from another possible OPEC Plus output hike in July. Brent futures fell 48 cents to $63.96 a barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures lost 48 cents to $60.72. For the week, Brent has fallen 2.3% and WTI dropped 2.9% following 2 weeks of gains. Your financial indicators: $1 US in Nigeria is trading at 1,509 naira 35. In Botswana, it's 13 pula 32. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shilling 37. And in Zambia, it's 27 kwacha 19. The BRICS countries: $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 real 65. Russia is 79 rubles 65. India is 85 rupees 87. China is 7 yuan 20. And in South Africa, $1 is trading at 17 rand 98. $1 is trading at 74 pence to the British pound and 88 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is trading at $3,327 and platinum at $1,085 per ounce. The price of Brent crude oil is at $64 at 22 cents a barrel. Now, for any business news stories you would like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I'm Nusi Pozuma.
Business News on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Hey guys, question. Have you thought about what happens between 9 o'clock until midday, Saturday and Sunday? Well, it's me. Those that know me call me the fun police, and I'm that girl, that voice on your radio. My name is Pule Mulebati. I'm all about the finer things in life. Where to go, what to wear, who to see, and ultimately what to do. We aspire to bring you the best in travel, entertainment, with a dash or maybe a dose of laughter. And then of course we switch things up a bit when we look at technology. I love what's happening with AI because you blink, something new pops up. So the challenge is constantly there. I'm learning every single time on the show. So catch me every single Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. until 12 midday Central African Time, Baba.
Midday vibes, great programming, and good company. This is Channel Africa. Hold it like no other. Channel Africa. More than just a broadcaster, Channel Africa is the pulse of the continent. African-led, African-run, and deeply rooted in its heritage. It's the only international station that speaks to Africa in its own voices. English, Kiswahili, Chinyanja, French, and Portuguese. The languages that unite 1 billion people. We have been there through every shift, every milestone, and every triumph. Not just reporting history, but shaping the conversations that define Africa's future. For brands, media planning, and advertisers, Channel Africa is more than just a platform. It's an opportunity. With 25 compelling shows covering current affairs, sports, business, music, and lifestyle, we deliver an engaging Pan-African audience ready to connect, invest, and act. Multi-award winning, internationally recognized, digitally accessible across the globe. When Africa speaks, the world listens, and Channel Africa makes sure of it. For business, for culture, for Africa. Partner with Channel Africa because Africa's voice is the future. Africa is a story, a living, breathing, ever-evolving masterpiece. And for over 5 decades now, one voice has told it like no other. Channel Africa. More than just a broadcaster, Channel Africa is the pulse of the continent. African-led, African-run, and deeply rooted in its heritage. It's the only international station that speaks to Africa in its own voices. English, Kiswahili, Chinyanja, French, and Portuguese. The languages that unite 1 billion people. We have been there through every shift, every milestone, and every triumph. Not just reporting history, but shaping the conversations that define Africa's future. For brands, media planning, and advertisers, Channel Africa is more than just a platform. It's an opportunity. With 25 compelling shows covering current affairs, sports, business, music, and lifestyle, we deliver an engaging Pan-African audience ready to connect, invest, and act. Multi-award winning, internationally recognized, digitally accessible across the globe.
Changan, by our guest, who joins us in studio, Asa Matuse, known in Mozambique as the girl from next door or the neighborhood. But her voice now echoes far beyond Maputo. Based in Paris, she blends traditional Mozambique rhythms with jazz, pop, and electronic, singing in Portuguese, English, French, and Changan.
Yes.
The
multi-talented.
But Asa is more than a musician. She's a powerful advocate for girls and teens in underserved communities as well, using a platform to call for safer spaces and better education. Her music, like her mission, is rooted in identity, memory, and hope. Good afternoon and welcome to you, Asa Matuse!
Hi, hello, hello.
How are you doing?
It's such a pleasure to be here with you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's such
I want to say hi to everyone that is listening to us, and it's just a pleasure.
Muito obrigado for being
de
here.
nada.
That's about
That's
the only thing I can say. Only thing I can say. Let's talk
maybe something in Shangana.
What can I say? Thank you.
The cancer.
Oh my goodness me.
There we go.
Let's talk about, you're in South Africa at the moment.
Yes.
What are you doing here? Because I know you're not concerting and performing in South Africa.
No,
so what are you doing here at the moment?
I'm actually here for a project. Okay. I'm together with Fifth Season, the label, and also Universal to do some songs that we actually started on the camp in Rwanda, and now we're just gonna finish, and actually the project it just got bigger. That's why they got me here, so we could finish, and it looks so good so far.
Are there any?
Looking forward, yes.
Are there any South African artists that you'll be collaborating with, or that you're currently collaborating on this project?
No, not really, but I'm collaborating with producers, not really singers and performers, but producers that actually are really, really great. I'm having such a good time on studio. I prefer to be on stage normally, live music.
Yes.
But that's the first time I can say that it's so funny. It's so fun to be on studio and just record with those guys. And I think South African producers, maybe they have different energy.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
I think a lot of musicians are enjoying working with South African musicians now and producers. You see the Afrobeats artists also coming through to South Africa to collaborate, especially now that Mapiano is such a big genre.
Yeah, it's really big now.
But I mean, your type of music blends so many genres together. You have a little bit of jazz, pop, electronic music. How do you approach fusing these genres in such a unique way?
I mean, it's just, I have all of these rhythms and type of music inside of me, and I always wonder, like, how can I actually put it together and be able to have one song that people can listen and be like, okay, what is this song? Because I'm listening to some jazz, I'm listening to like Afro, like very deep. I'm also listening to electronics. Actually, that's the reason I went to Paris, because I wanted actually to have something for my country, but to have a different approach when it comes to the sounds, you know. And when we talk about keyboard and producers in Paris, I think they're really great. When with the keyboard sounds, and this is something that we don't have much in Maputo in Mozambique. So I really love jazz, I love pop, I even love Afrobeats. Now Mapiano that is taking the world. I love all kind of music, because music is just the music. When you listen to the melody, you don't really care much what type of music it is, as long as it takes you somewhere. So I have this facility to actually be able to combine all of those in one song. that the new project is also coming there to show that, I mean, even Amapiano, Asamatus can kind of mix and show to the world. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you don't only just do it with your with the genres, right? Language is a big thing for you as well.
Yes, languages.
I mean, you sing in Shangana, French, Portuguese, English.
Yeah.
How important is it for you? It seems like exposing yourself, not only to different genres, but also the world, you know, you moving to a completely different continent and country just to enhance your music. So exposure is quite an important thing for you. Diversification is quite important. Talk to us about that. Why is that?
Yeah. I mean, has the song, Muchangana, I mean, you didn't understand everything, but it talks about people, the ethnic Changana, and I'm part of that. And I remember when I was younger, I used to be, I used to feel really bad and small comparing to the other kids because I was the one that speaks Changana at home because my parents, they didn't go to school, so they couldn't speak Portuguese with me, right? So with the time, I just grow up and I started to feel and think like, I think languages is actually something that I want to use in my music when I realized that I want to sing, that music actually chose me, because unfortunately you don't really even choose, you know, it just comes and you have to do it. Yes. So I remember just telling myself the first gig I had, actually the first prize, you know, in Mozambique, I took the money and I just wrote myself at the music school, not a music school, Institute de Language, where you can learn languages. So I could speak English, but it was only 3 months of English. And then I had to go to Norway. So actually I do speak Norwegian as well.
Really?
Yeah. I had to go there for a project, a music project. I had to finish my music school there. So I also speak Norwegian. So the thing with languages, I use them actually as a tool to kind of communicate and kind of empower myself and those who couldn't. And still now we have a lot of families, you know, that home they speak Shangana because the parents cannot speak Portuguese because they didn't have opportunity to actually learn the language. And I always felt like now it's time to actually, it's to stand up for ourselves and just show that being a Shangana doesn't mean we just like a less. So that's why I use so many languages in my music, because I feel like that's the way to communicate to everyone, but also to just feel proud. Like today I can speak so many languages, so why not use them for my music?
Besides using languages as a way to communicate better and express yourself better, and so that so many other people can relate to what you're saying in a more emotional way, you are giving back. Your work in philanthropic work or activism work. Talk to us about what got you into working with especially the young girls in Maputo. What drove and what inspired that?
I think I was inspired by me because I'm a girl from the neighborhood, where opportunities are kind of a bit far from us, and we have to actually look for them and really do the best we can to get them. And in Mavalan, I'm from Mavalan. We have Mavalan, and Shamankulu and Mashaken. Those are the neighborhoods that are really close to the city center. And normally they say, like, before, when it was colonialism and everything, people used to run, and they created these neighborhoods to kind of hide. So my father also did the same, and he went to Mavalan, and in Mavalan, I remember when I started music and everything, it was really hard for me to actually feel safe because we didn't have electricity. Now things are changing, right? We don't have electricity in the neighborhoods, so it's really, girls are just scared to go and come back, even because sometimes they can start school at 1 o'clock and then you have to leave it at 7. So you think like, okay, how am I gonna get home?
Sure.
Because there is so many bad guys in those neighborhoods. So my strategy actually was just make them my friends. You understand? So I started to talk with the girls from Horizonte Azul, where I'm like representing girls and everything, and I just talk to them, and everyone have the same strategy. We talk to those who are dangerous to us, so that they can protect us when we come from school, when we come from activities that needs us to go farther than, because I mean there is nothing in Mavalan and Mashakeng and Ida and Shamakul. So yeah, that's what drove me, because it's me. I see myself in those girls. I mean, now I live in Paris, but I see myself and I'm just like, okay, now I live in Paris. Things are different
for you,
for me,
but largely
but
the
same. Still, I mean, my family still live there. So I mean, when I go to visit her, now that I'm an artist and people kind of know me, I'm always afraid, like, okay, people are gonna come at night, just like, okay, let's just go because she's there. So I don't even stay there when I'm here, when I'm in Maputo. Wow. I can say if I'm there, I have to really hide because I'm just But I think actually now they're kind of proud. I have seen them just waving and stuff. So I think things are really changing, and girls are starting to actually speak up for themselves, and we're asking only to have more electricity and more security in the neighborhood.
I mean, you speak so passionately about your country, Asa. One can tell that you really do care still. You are still deeply rooted to home. And that's why you're taking Muchangana, the concert back home. Tell us a little bit about it.
I'm going to have this performance on the 13th of June. Actually, it's just like a concert that it's going to be talking about my history. Like I'm going to be having some videos and great artists that have been supporting me since I was younger. And it's going to be a very, very special. And I think my first concert, the one that really I will never forget, it was even in Maputo, where I had so many people watching, and I'm going back to the same room, to the same concert room to do another concert. And I'm having guests that have been supporting me. Awesome. And I'm really excited actually to kind of come again home and I share with them like everything that I've been experiencing in the world, because I mean I'm traveling a lot now, but still Mozambique is where I feel more comfortable to perform, because they understand literally everything I sing. They vibe with me. I mean, music has no language, but I feel the difference when I'm performing in Paris and when I'm performing in Maputo. So I'm really, really excited and looking forward to this concert. And I want to invite for those who are going to be in Maputo to be there, because it's going to be really.
You said 13th
of June.
You'll be in Bushfire as well.
Yes, I'm going to perform on Bushfire on the 30th. Of May. So this is next weekend.
All right,
it's going to be amazing.
Friday the 30th.
Yeah, Friday on the main stage. Just watch me. Just look for me there. Catch me there.
Incredible. So, I mean, you said you are working on this project. Do you know a release date yet?
No, I cannot actually. You can't tell us. But I cannot tell you because otherwise I'm going to have people in my bag.
Yes. Give us a little bit of a...
No, but it's coming this year.
Okay.
Yeah,
right,
there we go.
Look out for it. And that is our guest this afternoon, Asa.
Mm-hmm.
And if you happen to be in Mozambique on the 13th of June, if you happen to be in Eswatini on the 30th of May, check her out at Bushfire. That is Asa Matuse. And she is our artist for the afternoon. We will be back.
We'll be back.
Yeah, after the news.
I would love.
There's still more to talk about. Will you grace us?
Grace us and serenade
Okay.
us.
All right. Wonderful. It is 3:00 Central African time. Let's head on over to the news. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Asa.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Top stories this hour: a groundbreaking Pan-African campaign and EU international operation dismantles key infrastructure. Good afternoon, I am Nolutando Butelezi. Freedom Park in South Africa, together with ZA Central Registry and Registry Africa, will host a groundbreaking Pan-African campaign. It will take place on Sunday under the theme Silencing the Guns, Let the Drums Roll. The event will bring together all 55 African Union member states in a symbolic gesture of unity and peace. Acting Executive Dean of the Thabo Mbeki African School of International and Public Affairs is currently in Tanzania, Professor Edith Paswana.
So the day holds significant importance for various reasons. The first one being its historical significance. You will remember that this day reminds Africans about unity and solidarity. When we were fighting, we were in the trenches against colonialism, against apartheid, and against slavery, because we came together as Africans. And this day symbolizes that continent's unity in the face of historical challenges.
Approximately 300 miners are still trapped underground in South Africa's Sibanye-Stillwater's Kloof gold mine in Western Area Johannesburg. The miners have been underground since yesterday after equipment failure caused debris to damage the main shaft, cutting off their exit route. No injuries have been reported, however concerns are mounting over the well-being of the workers. National Union of Mine Workers spokesperson Libuwani Mamburu says that the miners have been without food and water since they were trapped underground.
We are still waiting for the preliminary report that will tell us exactly what happened. But as the National Union of Mine Workers, we are very worried about this incident because the company did not want to say anything about it. And the latest update that the company gave to our members at the surface is that they are saying that the 300 mine workers will resurface at around midday, 12 o'clock this afternoon. But we're waiting as a National Union of Mine Workers. But what worries us is that since yesterday, when this incident happened, workers do not have access to water and food.
South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has conveyed his condolences to family and friends of struggle veteran Gertrude Shophe. She died at her home in the Gauteng province yesterday at the age of 99. Mashophe, as she was affectionately known, was born in Johannesburg but grew up in Zimbabwe. She was trained as a teacher and later taught in the former Natal and in Soweto. Mashophe also served as ANC Women's League president. Presidential spokesperson Vincent Magwenya.
South Africa has lost an eminent national heroine and a mother to our nation. During a lifetime of close on a century, Mashophe made a monumental contribution to our struggle for a free and inclusive South Africa, while inspiring generations of women and men to emulate her commitment.
Congo's Senate has voted overwhelmingly in favor of lifting former President Joseph Kabila's immunity from prosecution in a late-night vote on Thursday over his alleged links to the M23 rebel group. Kabila is wanted in Congo for alleged crimes against humanity for supporting the insurgency in the east, including a role in the massacre of civilians and personnel. Congo has also moved to suspend his political party and seize the assets of its leaders. Kabila, who denies any ties to the rebel group, stepped down after almost 20 years in power in 2018, yielding to protests. He has been out of the African Central country since late 2023, mostly in South Africa. European Union's police agency says that an international operation has dismantled key infrastructure that is used by cyber criminals worldwide to spread malware and launch ransomware attacks. The BBC's Danny Aberhard has the details.
The operation focused on the malicious software cybercriminals use to infect computer systems unnoticed before they then deploy the ransomware that can cripple networks and encrypt, destroy or steal data. They then try to extort huge sums from the public service or corporation targeted to restore access. This week saw the latest phase of a long-term operation known as Endgame. It's seen 300 servers and hundreds of domain names taken down and several strains of malware disabled. In addition, Europol said $4 million in cryptocurrency was seized and international arrest warrants were issued for 20 suspects.
A recap of the top story this hour. Freedom Park in South Africa, together with ZA Central Registry and Registry Africa, will be hosting a groundbreaking Pan-African campaign. It will take place on Sunday under the theme Silencing the Guns, Let the Drums Roll. For any news stories that you would like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I am Nolutando Butelezi.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
I love the silence that you just
because
immediately.
this is a duet. I've done my bit.
You've done your bit. It's 8 minutes after 3 p.m. Central African time. Welcome back to The Upside. It's our final hour of the show, and we are still hanging out with the one and only Asama Tusen. Asa, before we let you go, we've got another song that we're going to play. It's called
Matantaena.
Matantaena.
Afikile Matantaena.
Tell us about it. What does it mean for those who are listening in? And who arrived? What does it mean?
Actually, this song was written by my father. Because he was a musician, yes.
Wow.
But then obviously I had to adjust and update the song.
Adapt it to your style.
So to my style and also to nowadays, because we're from different time.
Yes.
Yeah. So this song means Afikin Mataldaena, it means he has arrived with his things or his stuff. But the song is talking actually about someone who likes black magic. We can also say white magic, whatever.
Magic?
Magic.
Yeah.
So basically, we're just saying that he has arrived, and we can smell him, because when you go to these places where you have a consultation, normally they can give you a bath by with some oil or maybe just blood of an animal. So normally people
smell like sage.
So normally
I'm like essential oils. Blood.
My blood, like animals' blood.
Not
people's.
Yes.
I never been there.
Yeah.
So it's not from experience. Okay.
So how do you know?
I say I never been there myself, but I have seen movies and I know because we do have neighbors. We live in a society that for them it's normal to do that. For us. So my father basically was just talking about this and also saying that every day he goes and they never know when he comes, and he can come home just cutted because he's trying to have good luck in life. But sometimes this person can also go to church and confuse people. He goes to church also every day, but he doesn't believe in God. He believes in something else. So it's a really, really special song that my father just wrote. And that part, actually, I'm talking about church, this is me updating, because I see like there is a lot of people at church that they actually don't do what God actually want us to do. You know, so it's just a combination of two realities that kind of don't like each other.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's check it out. Afikile coming up. It's 11 minutes after 3 Central African time.
Afikili matantaena, afikili matantaena.
When Africa speaks, the world listens, and Channel Africa makes sure of it. For business, for culture, for Africa. Partner with Channel Africa, because Africa's voice is the future. Africa is a story, a living, breathing, ever-evolving masterpiece. And for over 5 decades now, one voice has told it like no other. Channel Africa. More than just a broadcaster, Channel Africa is the pulse of the continent, African-led, African-run, and deeply rooted in its heritage. It's the only international station that speaks to Africa in its own voices: English, Kiswahili, Chinyanja, French, and Portuguese. The languages that unite 1 billion people. We have been there through every shift, every milestone, and every triumph. Not just reporting history, but shaping the conversations that define Africa's future. For brands, media planning, and advertisers, Channel Africa is more than just a platform. It's an opportunity. With 25 compelling shows covering current affairs, sports, business, music, and lifestyle, we deliver an engaging Pan-African audience ready to connect, invest, and act. Multi-award winning, internationally recognized, digitally accessible across the globe. When Africa speaks, the world listens, and Channel Africa makes sure of it. For business, for culture, for Africa. Partner with Channel Africa, because Africa's voice is the future. Africa is a story, a living, breathing, ever-evolving masterpiece. And for over 5 decades now, one voice has told it like no other. Channel Africa. More than just a broadcaster, Channel Africa is the pulse of the continent, African-led, African-run, and deeply rooted in its heritage. It's the only international station that speaks to Africa in its own voices: English, Kiswahili, Chinyanja, French, and Portuguese. The languages that unite 1 billion people. We have been there through every shift, every milestone, and every triumph. Not just reporting history, but shaping the conversations that define Africa's future. For brands, media planning, and advertisers, Channel Africa is more than just a platform. It's an opportunity. With 25 compelling shows covering current affairs, sports, business, music, and lifestyle, we deliver an engaging Pan-African audience ready to connect, invest, and act. Multi-award winning, internationally recognized, digitally accessible across the globe. When Africa
is Afikile Matantaen, 15 minutes after 3 Central African time. Asa, tell us about where to from here. Where's your headspace? You know, you have done a lot. It sounds like in the past 5 years, you've completely changed your life around. Your music is also expanding, growing. You're working with new people. Just kind of encapsulate and summarize this time for us.
I've been, my life changed a lot since I left, even before I left Mozambique, because I left for a reason. But I see that the efforts and everything that I actually believe it's starting to become
a reality.
A reality, and that gives me so much. How do you say, gas?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because I feel like it's actually possible. When I look at myself, where I'm coming from, and where I actually think I can be, it just gives me so much energy to keep doing what I'm doing. Because if we dream and we want to accomplish something, and we have objectives in life, and we want something, and we just can't stop thinking about that, it means we can do that. Because otherwise, why would I imagine myself being in a, I don't know, even bushfire? When I was younger, I always used to be like, okay, one day I'm gonna go to this festival, and now I'm going
now you're
there.
performing on
I'm
the
performing
main stage.
there, and it's on the main stage, and just amazing. And I can see my life, and also the life of those who are around me changing in some years, because I really believe that if we have just only good things like in our heart, it means that life is just gonna be not easy. It's gonna be difficult, but we're gonna make it. And I'm really proud of myself, and also to see like how much actually the world is open now to welcome new people that are coming from different realities. Like me, when I'm in Paris and I can sing in Shangana and also in Portuguese, and people don't care actually what I'm singing. They just vibe through my melodies and rhythms. I just know that, I mean, I'm made for this, and I know that the world actually is open for everyone, and everyone can actually be heard in this new world.
Asa, you mentioned how you love being on stage, performing. Take us through one of your most memorable performances.
Wow, I have two. The first one, it was in Paris when I released my album. This one, I was not expecting to have so many people. I mean, for me, 900 people is a lot, especially for that time. And this room was just full of Mozambicans, and this is something that is not normal. You know, people did travel from Portugal to Paris, and also there was like this very big community of Lusophony. People that speak Portuguese, people from Cape Verde, people from Angola, and also French people. So it was just a room mixed with different cultures, and I was really surprised. So that was one of the most memorable live shows I had, because I was not expecting really. I remember 1 week before, the manager of the room wanted to cancel the concert because wanted to postpone or even just cancel, because we only had 30 people that bought tickets, and normally in France things, you know, they get booked before and tickets are sold out and everything. And I remember I just told him, look, I don't know how, but we're going to have people. And I started to I just believed it so much. And people just were there for me.
Incredible.
So that was really amazing for me. And also now in Mozambique, like the first concert, the first concert, because now we do have this very, very big room that you can have 2,000 people in a closed room, almost, you know. So, and everyone was there to watch the show, and it was amazing. People were singing my songs. I didn't know they knew them. So it was really, really special.
It must be a humbling experience. Asa, tell us where people can find you, to follow your journey, find out your next performance, and finally when the album drops.
You can find me on social media. And all the platforms. I mean, when we talk about music, just write Asamatus, all the platforms, like online platforms. I'm there. I have my first album, Magio, and then there is also this one, Muchangana. So you can listen to that. And also just check me out on the social media so you can see where am I going, when is the next concert, when is the next country, and when is the next stage.
Wonderful.
Oh.
That is our guest this afternoon, the
Wonderful.
fine Asa Matuse. And catch her out in Mozambique in June.
Yes.
But even before then, Eswatini, end of this month, if you are going to bushfire.
Amazing. So we can't let you go without serenading and singing us a little, just a one-liner from your latest body of work, if you don't mind.
Okay. Janiti mielela, não vou perder meu tempo cá nela, lutando pra me expressar. Nitazani kumampa mala, a qualquer momento me levar pra minha tia Tanelaia. Janiti mielela, não vou perder meu tempo com canela, lutando pra me expressar. Nitazani kumampa mala, a qualquer momento me levar pra minha tia Tanelaia. Naena que aprendeste, ouvistes, tu andas, aprendeste, ouvistes, tu andas, aprendeste aonde ouviste, só onde tu andas, aonde.
Ladies and gentlemen, Asa Matuse has left the building.
Vue d'Afrique avec Joël Mouteba.
Alors peut-on considérer cette décision comme un désengagement durable des États-Unis vis-à-vis du développement africain ou s'agit-il d'un simple réalignement stratégique?
Bon, ça peut être les deux à la fois. Donc, au lieu de donner de l'argent à la Banque africaine de développement pour partager en vrac, ils préfèrent maintenant donc cibler les pays partenaires en Afrique. Ça, c'est pour le réalignement stratégique. Alors, et aussi, ce n'est pas un désengagement durable, mais je pense que dans les 2 ou 3 prochaines années, il veut d'abord remettre de l'ordre dans ses affaires.
Vue d'Afrique. Du lundi au vendredi, de 15h à 16h, temps universel.
Eternal Africa.
Greatness. DJ Natil.
Fonya kitleti muke, bomokele baradarite. Uskili magutsi, uskili. Fonya kitleti muke, bomokele baradarite. Uskili magutsi, uskili. Skanju the one around you.
Africa speaks, the world listens, and Channel Africa makes sure of it. For business, for culture, for Africa. Partner with Channel Africa because Africa's voice is the future. Africa is a story, a living, breathing, ever-evolving masterpiece. And for over 5 decades now, one voice has told it like no other. Channel Africa. More than just a broadcaster, Channel Africa is the pulse of the continent. African-led, African-run, and deeply rooted in its heritage. It's the only international station that speaks to Africa in its own voices. English, Kiswahili, Chinyanja, French, and Portuguese. The languages that unite 1 billion people. We have been there through every shift, every milestone, and every triumph. Not just reporting history, but shaping the conversations that define Africa's future. For brands, media planning, and advertisers, Channel Africa is more than just a platform. It's an opportunity. With 25 compelling shows covering current affairs, sports, business, music, and lifestyle, we deliver an engaging Pan-African audience ready to connect, invest, and act. Multi-award winning, internationally recognized, digitally accessible across the globe. When Africa speaks, the world listens, and Channel Africa makes sure of it. For business, for culture, for Africa. Partner with Channel Africa because Africa's voice is the future. Africa is a story, a living, breathing, ever-evolving masterpiece. And for over 5 decades now, one voice has told it like no other. Channel Africa. More than just a broadcaster, Channel Africa is the pulse of the continent. African-led, African-run, and deeply rooted in its heritage. It's the only international station that speaks to Africa in its own voices: English, Kiswahili, Chinyanja, French, and Portuguese. The languages that unite 1 billion people. We have been there through every shift, every milestone.
It's 26 minutes after 3 Central African time. That one is DJ Neptune with Nobody featuring Joe Boy and Mr. Easy.
Wait,
Mr. Easy.
Mr. Easy. Thank you for clarifying that one. The reason we sound a bit frazzled is because our producer just
ambushed us
out of the blue and says, you're going to do a quiz now because it's Africa Month and we committed to 7 days of quizzing. We are now on day number 3, isn't it? It's day 3 today. Nompumelelo, is that are we on day 3? Yeah, okay, it's day 3. So, are you going to quiz us about music? Or are you going to come up with some random theme like you did the other day?
Also, anything... it just feels like school all over
again. It's a Friday. Can we just relax? Like, maybe on Monday, maybe.
It really feels like school all over again.
I'm stressing you guys out, no?
Yeah, it's a Friday.
Because you didn't even introduce me.
Okay, wait. Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce our wonderful, phenomenal producer, Nompumelelo Tango.
Yes.
All
okay.
Right.
So, you guys are so stressed. I'm so sorry, guys.
You're not sorry.
No, you're not.
So for those, I'm really not. So for those who don't know the rules, I am going to ask questions, and whoever says their name first will get the chance to answer. If you get it wrong, you give the next person a chance to answer. You are, however, timed when it comes to answering your question, right?
Okay.
That's clear.
Okay.
So the first one, I want you guys to listen to this audio, right?
Oh, no.
And I'm going to give you guys just a bit of time.
Yeah.
So the audio is that you are supposed to finish the lyrics of this particular song.
Okay.
Right? So just take a listen. Nompumelelo.
When heaven sent you my way.
They said complete.
Yeah, the lyrics.
From where it was, it didn't complete.
That is wrong.
I cherish the day I know one.
Let's finish the lyrics again.
Finish, okay. Finish
so let's hear what
Tebogo.
Let's hear what Tebogo said. Tebogo, are you going to try?
Can we try? Yes, let's listen.
Let's play it again. Tebogo?
I cherish this Saturday afternoon.
Wrong. All of you. Wrong.
All right, that's fine.
Maybe our technical operator can finish it off. Let's listen.
I cherish our days, I know the day when heaven
and that's what I'm saying. When heaven sent you my way.
You can't just jump to the other.
But it's finishing the lyrics, Nompumelelo.
It's her arguing.
In one
so
point
if we
to me.
Okay, so the next one, right? We are going to play a short sound, right? And you should tell me, first of all, we're going to start with this one. We're going to play a snippet of a song.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me what the original, this is a remix. I want to know the original, the name, and the person, right? I mean, the name of the song and the person, the artist.
Here we go.
Cut to take over.
Running out of things I can prove myself.
Nompumelelo. I nearly said
Nompumelelo.
Oh dear. We went to town about the song.
Carry on.
On the day, it was a holiday. It was a public holiday. We went on and on and on.
Correct. So what's the name of the song and the artist?
It was not supposed to. It wasn't.
No, it was not.
It was the other old
was
man.
the-
Oh,
it was
Kaifa
the-
Seminya. Kaifa Seminya.
What's the name of the song?
Awa.
What's
The
name of
original
the
song. I can.
You know what? No. Fegile Lingwati is standing by with sports news.
That's him running
Honestly.
away.
Two to me.
Sport.
Yo.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
We start off with cricket news as the biggest final looms large for Proteas against the Australian side, and head coach Shukri Conrad popped in to visit back-to-back world champions, the Springboks, at the Aluminium camp. South Africa's sport has been on a hot run in recent times across the first 3 weeks of May. The Blitzboks won the 7th World Championships in Los Angeles. South Africa won 3 medals at the World Relays in Guangzhou in China, and Amajita have been crowned AFCON champions. But the most acclaimed champions in the country, the Springboks, who are back-to-back Rugby World Cup winners, have led the winning charge with Rassie Erasmus in the coach's box on both occasions. Conrad shed more light on why he is keen to be with the Rugby World Cup champions.
Yeah, I think it's been, for all of us, it's been really inspiring. I think if you look at the history of the Springboks, and if you look at the recent past 2 successive World Cups, back-to-back, potentially a third, and they obviously must be doing a lot of things right, and we'd like to see what they're doing right and then learn from each other as well. And I think it's great just rubbing shoulders across the different codes. It's not only coming here wanting to learn from them, it's us almost sharing ideas, and that was always the intention when Rassie and I first started chatting, was just the cross-pollination, if you want, sharing of ideas and learning from each other.
Conrad says it's important for national team coaches to meet from time to time and share ideas.
Yeah, I really think so. I think it's something that, and both Russ and I agree, we should be spending a lot more time together as head coaches. I'd love to spend some time with Hugo or with Desiree Ellis in the soccer space. I mean, I watch every Bafana game. I started watching netball when the World Cup was here, and I think it's important that. And I know there's a throwaway line or a slogan with stronger together. I think it's exactly that. You know, we can all be stronger together, and sharing in national pride is the same across every code. I mean.
On to football news, Kenya's national under-20 football team, also known as the Rising Stars, assistant coach Anthony Akulia says their experience at the under-20 Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt has inspired them to try and conquer the East African region to ensure they constantly qualify for the tournament. Rising Stars played at the tournament for the first time ever after finishing second in the CECAFA regional qualifiers, losing to Tanzania in the final. In Cairo, the team picked up a point off a last-day 2-2 draw with Nigeria, while they lost to Morocco and Tunisia. Akulia believes they showed their worth in the tournament and should be qualifying constantly. And South African wheelchair tennis star Donald Ramparty admits that he struggled to adjust on the clay court in the first round of the 2025 Barcelona Open. This was after he enjoyed a 6-3, 6-1 defeat against Brazil's Leandro Peña at the Real Club de Tenis. Ramparty adds that he is disappointed that Peña remained consistent throughout the match, which made it difficult for him to catch up.
I definitely didn't have a good start. So I lost against Peña from Brazil. I thought I was gonna adjust to clay quickly, but unfortunately it didn't happen like that because, me training, me preparing for this tournament, I was practicing on hard court, so I struggled because, with clay, the eye coordination should be, on top. So I struggle with that.
For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. This is Channel Africa Sport with me, Fikile Ngwati.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective. Africa, meet Abedi.
Yeah, that's me.
Abedi is a music lover through and through.
I really love African music.
He's got a taste for all kinds of tunes and spends his days listening to Channel Africa. Guess what? He didn't know.
Okay.
Channel Africa wants to help Abedi and all music lovers everywhere to discover even more incredible music. That is why Channel Africa is calling on all African musicians to submit their music. Musicians, remember to give us all your relevant information. Make your submissions at music@channelafrica.co.za. Submissions are your chance to be heard on radio. But sadly, they do not guarantee that you will be playlisted. All submissions will be carefully reviewed to see if they meet our station's requirement. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
It is 36 minutes after 3 Central African time. Nosipo Zuma is going to give us the very latest in business news.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thank you, Nompumelelo. Good afternoon. In your business news this hour, former South Africa's President Thabo Mbeki says the upcoming G20 summit should be used to raise challenges faced by the continent. He was speaking at a dialogue on building consensus for South Africa's G20 Reigniting Africa's Renaissance in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania this morning. He says there are many major issues to raise in the interest of business and the continent, which should be reflected properly.
The initiative comes from Dar es Salaam, from Tanzania, to the rest of the continent that we need, so that we are no longer faced with these defeats. Like we were defeated in 2010 about the G8 Africa Action Plan, and defeated in 2011 about Libya. To say we are aiming for victory, but that victory entirely depends on our strength.
South Africa's Minister of Minerals and Petroleum Resources, Ngubeni Mandashe, says the country's refinery capacity must be resuscitated to reduce over-dependence on petroleum exports. Speaking at the launch of the South African National Petroleum Company in Sandton, Mandashe says the company will focus on coordinating petroleum capacity, including oil and gas, as well as ensuring security of energy supply in the country. The formation of SENPEC follows President Cyril Ramaphosa's 2020 State of the Nation address, wherein he emphasized stabilizing and refocusing state-owned entities to drive economic growth and development.
Since 2009, South Africa has experienced 11% year-on-year growth in import of fuel relative to local market production. It's because refineries have been closed. And our view is that those refineries must be made to work and must actually develop our own refining capacity. Now, having said that, it is important to ensure that we have good governance. Good governance is a very critical component of reducing both operational and financial risks.
South Africa's Minister of Communications and Digital Technology, Solly Malatsi, has proposed changes to the triple BEE policies that could pave way for an investment by Starlink in South Africa. The government gazette released by the minister proposes amendments that relate to the 30% equity requirement for previously disadvantaged individuals for all new investment in the ICT sector. In a statement released today, the department says that the changes are aimed to attract investment, specifically with regards to licensing for broadcasting, internet service, mobile network, and fixed and mobile networks. The drive policy proposes equity equivalent investment program, which allows multinational companies to meet empowerment requirements through other alternatives without complying with the ownership obligation. Malatsi explains.
Currently, the rules around who can acquire a license in the electronic communications services require a minimum of 30% shares to be in the hands of historically disadvantaged individuals. equity equivalent investment programs provided for under the Broad-Based Black Economic Empowerment Act and the ICT sector codes allow qualifying multinationals to meet empowerment obligations, such as investing in local supplies, enterprise development and skills development, and job creation, research and innovation.
South Africa's Finance Minister Nokotongwane says insufficient revenue collection in the past financial year has forced the government to cut spending in the budget for the 2025-2026 financial year. He told the 4 committees of Parliament on Finance and Appropriations that the National Treasury was forced to moderate the budget proposal.
That substantial reduction in revenue has required that we do additional small adjustment on the revenue side. But primarily, we had to moderate our ambitions. I must make the point, moderate our ambitions, because our ambitions, what we're talking about, has been to increase rather than to cut budgets. On the 12th, we're increasing the budget by 232 billion, and we're still increasing the budget by 180.1 billion. So we moderated our ambitions, but we're still increasing. And that is generally to deal with the impact on social service, particularly in provinces. Linked to that, we make the point that this budget is also not losing sight of the bigger picture of macroeconomic stability.
And finally, Zambia's central bank has kept its main interest rate unchanged after 2 rate decisions, citing an expected slowdown in inflation. The Bank of Zambia maintained its monetary policy rate at 14.50% after hiking it by 50 basis points at its last meetings in February and November to tame consumer inflation, which sits well above the bank's 6% to 8% target range. The country's annual inflation rate was at 16.5% in April, unchanged from the previous month. Your financial indicators: $1 in Nigeria is trading at 159 naira 35. In Botswana, it's 13.32. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shilling 37, and in Zambia, it's 27 kwacha 19. The BRICS countries: $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 real 65. Russia is 79 rubles 65. India is 85 rupees 87. China, it's 7 yuan 20, and in South Africa, $1 is trading at 17 rand 98. $1 is trading at 74 pence to the British pound and 88 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is trading at $3,327 and platinum at $1,085 per ounce. The price of Brent crude oil is at $64.22 a barrel. Now, for any business news stories you would like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I'm Nosipho Zuma.
Business News on Channel Africa. The African Perspective. Connecting Africa to the world. The Upside. Your daily dose of inspiration, innovation, and untold stories from across Africa. With Nompumelelo and Tebogo.
.44 after 3 Central African Time. It is The Upside, Nompumelelo, Ngubeni, and Tebogo Lekhuleni. We are in the middle of the most heated Friday edition of the Africa Month quiz.
Yes.
Now, what we are doing for the duration of this month is engaging in a quiz that has everything to do with the continent, but different topics on the continent, because typically here on The Upside on a Friday is Music Day. Our quiz has been centered around music. So far, I'm leading 2 points, 0.
One.
Yeah.
Where's this 2? 1-0.
I finished the lyrics. You guys said you wanted
one.
to
I also finished the lyric.
Okay.
I'm just surprised that you guys are even saying 1 or 2, because by my scoreboard it's 0. So I'm not sure where did this one.
And that voice is that of our producer Nompumelelo, who's actually the adjudicator of this entire process. So if she says it's 0-0,
all right.
As I roll my eyes.
Let's carry on. Let's carry on.
So the next one.
Yes.
We are going to play only 5 seconds of a song, and you need to guess. I'm gonna at least give you some grace and say you need to name the name of the song. You don't need to name the artist.
All right, wonderful.
Please take a listen.
Okay.
Tebogo.
Tebogo?
Muloi.
There we go.
Thank you very much.
What on earth was that? The song hadn't even begun
Mic
yet.
drop.
What was that, guys? What was that?
Maybe-
Surely he knows.
Maybe our technical operator should finish off the song so that Nompumelelo can hear the song.
All I heard were drums and a teaser. I would have never guessed that.
There we
Okay,
go.
thank you very much.
I wouldn't make there.
Thank
There
you.
we go.
Wow. Wow.
So Tebogo, you on the score.
Thank you very
You've
much.
got a point.
Yes.
And unfortunately, this one is the last one. So, yeah.
Okay.
This game is rigged.
Please listen to this one. Now we are going to make it this is the hardest one, right?
Okay.
And I'm gonna, because it's the hardest one, it's
Yeah.
worth 2 points.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, all right.
Phew.
So the song is gonna be played. It's gonna be rewinded, and I want you guys to guess the name of the song and the artist.
The name and artist.
And
Yeah.
the artist.
Yeah.
Sure. All right.
Any luck? Silence in court.
Whoa.
Sounded like Usher there, and I know we wouldn't have Usher. So
Was that?
that's a wrap for me.
Was that Oliver Mtukuz?
That is a wrap for me. Yeah.
Okay, so let's play the original, and you guys will see how bad you guys just really feel.
Oh, come on.
No.
Wow.
So for today, Tebogo takes this one.
You know what?
He is our winner
I'll
with
take
that
it.
1 point.
It was an ugly win, but I'll take it.
I would
I'm
be too
taking
embarrassed
it.
if I were you, Tebogo.
I am taking it.
Okay. It's fine. Congratulations then.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Let's get ready. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we get into conversation with Mo Easy.
Yeah, Nigeria.
Mornings made better with Peter and Asanda on Rise and Shine.
I want the Africa that makes every single African proud of the continent and have hope. And there's so much stuff that's going on that's positive. And if we can just lock into that, Namaganjani, everyone is going to get there.
Where are we going? Where are we trying to get to?
The idea of working together, which is why I'm excited about this new voice.
And the new voice is me, Asanda Peta, broadcast journalist with about 15 years of experience on the radio space.
Welcome, Asanda. I've been waiting for you for a long time.
Were you waiting for me?
I was.
Really?
Yeah, because for 3 months I was on my own.
So be sure to tune in right here on Channel Africa Mondays to Fridays from 6 till 9 a.m. Central African Time.
If you want to know about your continent, this is the best place to start your day.
Rise and Shine on Channel Africa. Connecting Africa to the world. The Upside. Your daily dose of inspiration, innovation, and untold stories from across Africa. With Nompumelelo and Tebogo.
All my real people stand up, you already know. Shake you don't go places where you not supposed to go. How much of your eye don't see? Yeah, things where you not supposed to see. Cause if you to make it grow and bleed, yeah, see. Try to provide for your seed, yeah. Update today for the streets, but you got to shine your eye like a police, yeah. Cause they don't sense. I'm on, they don't care. I'm on the bad friend. Get decent. If you don't get paid, I swear why you no guess it? Mutariba sipi agbile. Mutariba sipi eje Jesu. Yeah. Dáríjì mí kó pa ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ mi rẹ́. Fún mi láyọ̀ kí n lè wọlé ògo. Yeah, I get too much to the talk. Nobody know a thing but you God. You see, before we started singing, it was always a thing to get up on a part of the ghetto. Now it's because of the things with them shot to. Now it's because of the place where we rubble. So if really you wanna sing and talk about the things that made the brother bad from the get-go, you know, say me, I don't pretend. I get to your agenda. I bet the house will get you bread from this kitchen.
9 minutes before 4 p.m. Central African Time. That song?
Teriba.
Easy.
Yeah.
Teriba.
Yeah.
What a banger. What a banger of a song. Oh my goodness. Happy Friday and welcome to The Upside. If you've just joined us, you're joining us at the very last hour, the last 10 minutes of the show. And what better way to end the show than to have the man himself behind that banger of the song.
We are ending off, no doubt, on a high note just before we celebrate Africa Month, because we have award-winning Nigerian artist Mo Easy recently released his very latest EP, Ibere, which means beginning in Yoruba. Now, the project is a personal and spiritual journey, offering reflections on identity, my favorite topic, growth, as well as staying rooted in culture. I can't wait, we can't wait to speak to Mo Easy. He is joining us. And if you want to see Mo Easy interact with us, head on over to our live stream on YouTube. It's at Channel Africa, and check him out. Mo Easy, thank you so much for joining us.
Hello.
Hello.
So much for having me.
Oh man, how are you feeling this Friday afternoon?
I'm feeling amazing. I'm back into the studio doing some more work, so I'm just excited to get out more projects and get out more sounds.
Look, the themes that you tackle here in this latest EP, Ibere, are quite deep ones. Quite deep ones. What inspired this?
I just felt like real music is always the way to go. And whatever phase you are in life at that particular moment, it's always good to share it because many other people and many more people are going through it. I'm a big believer in timeless music. That's what I try to put my mindset into. It's good to go with the trend of what's going on at the moment. But when you have timeless music, you know, it outlives you.
It lives
on. You know, it
yeah.
for other people at different time zones and at different times.
Oh, tell us about Teriba. We were just listening to that song. What a banger. What a jam it is. What does Teriba mean? And what are you trying to say in the song?
Teriba is a very spiritual song, if I must say. It basically, the chorus, the Yoruba part, says, I basically bow down and you know, worship my maker, worship God Almighty. You know, forgive me sort of my sins and, you know, cleanse me of, you know, things that I may have done and not being proud of in the past. You know, and then moving forward, just stay with me and be with me, you know. And in the verses, I sort of did little narrations of, you know, tiny bit of things that I might have gone through, and I'm sure a lot of people, you know, have gone through as well. That's why it's a very personal song. Funny enough, when I did that record, I played it to an older sort of generation, like my moms, and to see their reaction, because they obviously understood it. You know, tears were flowing. So I was like, this song is definitely...
And that's what you speak of. It kind of speaks to this timelessness of music, right? Because if the older generation was vibing to it and we're like, it's a banger, you definitely kind of won where that is concerned. But on Teriba,
so not just the older lot, even my lot.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. We're saying it's a banger, your lot. Yeah. And you did, sticking with Teriba, you collaborated with producer Sabros on it. Tell us a little bit about that collaboration and how he's influenced the sound.
Well, he was in China schooling at this time when I did the record. He is from, I believe, Uganda. I think Uganda. Yes, I believe he's from Uganda. And I mean, we spoke online quite a few times. So I would get an idea and I would send it to him and get him to create. It would send the stems to me. I would chop it up because I love being in the studio by myself. I feel like I can get out exactly what's in my head. How I sort of want it.
Sure.
And we were able to do that. Teriba is, again, the hook itself is, it's not a new phase, Teriba, because there are many gospel spiritual songs who fall into that same sort of melody and time. And I just felt like, how can I bring that to life, and how can I put a twist on that a lot more people can engage with and understand and feel. And that's how it happened. But right now, I think he's moved back to Uganda. He just got married like last week or something like that.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Mo, from American Gangster to Make I hope I'm saying it, Make
African Gangster.
African. African Gangster. My bad. African Gangster to Make this EP, it celebrates self-belief. When we ask the question, where does your confidence come from? How do you answer that?
My confidence comes from, I would say, my family and God. Number one, I mean, they're my biggest supporters. So even before anybody hears records, my family get to hear it first. And I feed off that because they would tell me exactly how it is. Oh, I like this. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I get it. Oh, I don't get it. And just to see each one of us thrive, and where we've been coming from, it's not been an easy road, but to see everybody thrive and really do their thing for me is very inspiring. So my strength comes from that. And that's especially my mother. So she's like my biggest supporter. She watches Teriba on YouTube every morning.
Oh, that's amazing.
How many views is it on now?
Pardon me?
How many views is it on now on YouTube? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
All right. Half of those are probably your mom.
Half of them, indeed.
But I know she contributes to that because she really loves the record.
That's really incredible. Tell us about any upcoming performances. Mo Easy?
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm
all right. Any
here.
upcoming performances that we can look forward to?
I mean, at the moment, I've been doing a lot of orchestra vibes to the records. So
Nice.
I have an orchestra feel for Teriba. I have an orchestra feel for Maycam. We have the visualizers as well that's coming out. So I'm going to be doing a lot of lives to further push the project. And also getting back into the studio because I also do writing for other artists. Some that I've done in the past and some more that we are putting in at the moment that I maybe can't mention their name till it's sealed. But yeah, so I mean, I'm back in the studio, and then hopefully, we'll start getting into the crowd live performances in a short time.
Mo, it's been an absolute honor. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. We wish you nothing but the best. Congratulations on your EP, and we certainly hope that those views continue and that everyone starts streaming all your beautiful music. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Mo Easy, award-winning Nigerian artist. Go check out his EP, Ibere, on streaming platforms. Make is there, African Juice, Fall I Fall, Omotonso, Teriba, and African Gangster. It's less than a minute to go before the top of the hour, and we hand over to the one and only
Tammy Time.
Tammy Time.
All right.
What an honor it's been.
Yeah, it's been great.
The week flew by, hey?
It did. I agree. Okay, we're out of here. Cheers, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Get Channel Africa on DSTV Audio Bouquet. Channel 802. SABC News. The African Perspective.
Top stories this hour: mine workers resurface from underground in South Africa and a military helicopter crash in Russia. Good afternoon, I am Nolutando